17news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-488-2594. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-488-2594. That's 800-488-2594. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. For Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hey, miss! I don't mean to be telling tales out of school, but there's a feller in there who'll pay you $10 if you sing into his hand. I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out on the radio.
Hold on to your butt.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio with me. How you doing today, Eddie?
Wonderful, Joey. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired, but just like physically tired. Like my body's real sore. I was telling you that off there.
Yeah.
We don't have to get all the details of why, but it's just true.
Splitting wood?
No, I wish I was.
All right.
It's been a while since I've split some wood. But you watching the DNC?
No.
No, yeah, I mean, not much.
I did
either.
watch a good one, and we'll talk about the old Theo Vaughn.
Well, let's see
Donald
if
Trump.
our guest here, as tradition on Wednesdays, kicking it off with Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show there at 106.5 FM in the Mobile area, Fairhope area, and of course also editor-in-chief at 1819 News. Jeff, how you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
So are you torturing yourself watching the convention?
Most of it, I don't know. I'm so desensitized to these things, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think you're missing much if you're sitting on the sideline.
Yeah, I've been mostly catching the highlights, and there really is a lot of projection going on. A lot of folks pointing out today that Michelle Obama was giving a lecture last night on how there are people that just take too much. They take more than they need. And it's like, lady, have you seen your place in Martha's Vineyard? Like, and that's just one example of many. I think a state senator from Michigan said Trump is going to weaponize the DOJ. It's like, have you?
Hello.
And they keep doing this. Everything seems to be a projection of what they're actually up to.
And they get away with it. I mean, like, that's the frustrating thing, Joey, is that they get away with it. There's no, I don't know. It's like the media sort of run the show here. And I don't know, like, there's no counter strategy. I wish I had the answer to this, but that's still just kind of the way it feels. Like they get away with it.
Yeah, and it is frustrating to watch. You see a few moments where, a little bit of the truth comes out. I think Jake Tapper made everybody try to disassemble on CNN when he brought up that, as we're calling him, we stole this from Tim Dillon, Tim Wall's funnel cake dad, Funnel Cake Dad apparently lied about IVF and starting a family with
Yep.
IVF. So occasionally you'll see these moments where they have to react in real time, but you're right. It is, it's all fluff. It's all sizzle. And I guess
Well,
that
yeah.
works for folks.
Let's think about this strategy. And you and I talked about this. I think they're just running on good feels, good vibes, positive energy, joy, all these things that don't really mean anything. Because if we start talking about policy, if we start talking about anything that we're going to do, we're not just attacking the other side, that they start branding her, then she has to answer for it. And then all the good vibes go away, all the positive feels go away. It seems to be working. I hate to say it, but you look at it, Joey, is there any reason to think that this isn't working for them?
It's working. It's working for now. I just think so I was about to ask, where do you think this race goes? Is my standard answer has been pretty much a coin flip.
I kind of think I don't. What we're seeing right now, I don't think it matters as much. And then I know this is probably hear this from every conservative or Republican right now. When it starts to matter, it starts after Labor Day. I think September and early October. I think if you're playing a game late October, it's way too late. But just think about this: in the last several presidential elections in your lifetime, I mean, when can you say that either convention was really kind of the make or break point of a campaign?
I think that's a fantastic point. I can remember, I guess
they're always lagging indicators, right? I don't know, but they're never like, oh, they had a really bad convention, they're going to lose, or they had a really good convention, they're going to win. That's never been the case.
I remember the 08 campaign where McCain waited late to pick a VP and they revealed Sarah Palin essentially at the convention. There was a bump out of that. Then, of course, she started doing interviews and talking about what she reads.
Well, was that just a product of Palin being picked, or was it a product of the convention itself? And I would argue it was a product of more just Palin in general rather than the RNC that year, in Minnesota, right?
Right. And it just, the culture really has, especially politically speaking, moved into such a weird way. There's a lot of folks who have idiocracy dripping from their lips for good reason. And I'm including, we got Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock up there too, brother. Like there's a lot of, again, sizzle without much content. And what reminded me of that, have you ever seen the documentary Best of Enemies, the one about Buckley and Vidal and how they used to argue, especially at the 68 conventions?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and so you just watch that, or you even watch Reagan and Carter, Reagan and Mondale debate. It seems like the culture has got away from, for better or for worse, grown-ups in the room to whatever the heck we're watching these days.
It's a personality contest because, like, it used to be, older people voted in elections, and we've dumbed it down a lot, okay? But you can't. This is just the reality we live in. You could gripe about how dumbed down and cult of personality everything is now, but I mean, this is how do Republicans use what the politics of the day dictate to them? How do they make hay? How do they win in this sort of environment? I don't know why the political culture has gone in this direction. That it's this appearance that we're looking at. It's no longer about an idea versus another idea. It's about, why do I think of this person when I see them on TV, the way they kind of talk and the way they act, the way they handle themselves, particularly on social media. And maybe that's just it. We're so inwardly focused on social media, so there's a little projection there. I don't know what it is, but whatever is leading this time in our political history, it is the reality that Republicans and Democrats have to deal with.
And then I'm looking at this headline, big one today. We anticipated, folks we follow economically, saying the Bureau of Labor Statistics is probably going to revise down by about 1 million jobs. The jobs reports from last year, the actual number's out. It's 818,000 jobs were just non-existent. They overreported them over the last year. Apparently, this is the largest downward revision since 2009. And I just wonder if moments like this, where reality does pop its head through into this fake world of politics, I hope this is what's actually starting to sway people just on a common sense basis.
I don't know. I mean, people who are out of work right now are like, so I mean, like, are you really looking at these metrics and evaluating, or is it, just the reality of going shopping and your spending power and your ability to earn, and everybody individually sort of creates this aggregate, and that's the way the election goes. I don't know that these metrics they're putting out there from the Ministry of Information are really getting much attention. They're certainly not getting much attention on television today, on cable news channels.
Right. And I mean, we'll see. It's just, I think the average person realizes the economy's not as good as it probably could be. And everybody's a little hesitant, I think, to make moves, which is not good if you want a booming growth.
But isn't that, our buddy Josh Boone and other Democrats, hey, you guys, you don't know how good the economy really is. Like, look at this. Inflation's down to 3%. That's good. And look at all these jobs that this Biden administration, the economy it's presiding over, has created. And this is their counter to, you don't really feel like the economy's good. It seems like it's bad. Things are very expensive. What's going on here? Hey, don't you criticize this economy because this indicator, this metric, this statistic say otherwise, and the economy's actually improving. And that's where, and you and I talk about this all the time, this conventional wisdom that we have forced upon us, and we're told, no, this is really what's happening, and 9 out of 10 economists believe this and this and this and this, and then it turns out, well, they were wrong the entire time. Oh, well, sorry, our bad. That's the problem for Democrats.
Well, and you know me, I'm very much in the Austrian economics school, the sort of Ron Paul camp, and they often take a view of economics that isn't reliant on Republicans good, Democrats bad, or vice versa. And so I'd be apt to say the reason we're seeing this inflation is you printed $7 trillion, and now that was also... they took a match to it with the Inflation Reduction Act, ironically. So I'd see this as kind of a bipartisan spending problem in Washington, where we kept talking about we're stealing from the future to pay for things today. It seems like the future is now here when you see just interest payments on the debt are more than your national defense spending. 77% of income taxes went to just servicing the debt last month.
Yeah, I guess we could inflate our way out of it and crush the middle class even more. There just needs to be who cares about deficit spending? The government will always have money, and Joey, I don't know where this goes because Republicans aren't much better on this.
Right. Yeah, and it's something I try to constantly remind the audience. Just when you think, okay, well, I'm not voting for the Democrats, you look at the, say, more traditional aspects of the Republican Party. Like, for instance, this week they come out with that big report, Joe Biden committed impeachable offenses. And it's like, and tell me, Peter Schweizer told us this 5 years ago. Like, what are y'all doing? Why do you think this is actually effective?
It's not. It's not because it is. I don't know why or how or what, but Republicans have sort of been marginalized when they have something like this. It doesn't move anything. They are able to belittle it as partisan Republicans putting out partisan hate-mongering, the misinformation to help their savior Donald Trump, and that's the way they present it in the media, and that's how it's perceived by a lot of the public.
Now, to finish with this, it's more of a cultural thing. I noticed, though, today, especially on Twitter X, a lot of people arguing over tipping, like the practice of giving tips. And so what's your kind of standard MO when it comes to tipping?
I mean, I try to be generous. I know people are like, well, if you're not really sitting down, then do you tip? But I tend to tip. I don't know. I guess if you've ever had one of these crummy jobs, and I've had a lot of them in my life, there's something about me that's I just hit the 10% button or the 15 or whatever. It's not that much money, and it may make it may go a long way for some of these people. I tend to be more sympathetic towards the tipping, and I'm okay with that sort of approach. I know a lot of people are just like, well, tips should only be reserved in certain circumstances, but I'll even tip somebody at the coffee line or whatever the opportunity presents.
Yeah, and I usually, if it's a big ticket, if good service, 25%. But if somebody's just trying to get by, I try to tip, especially waiters, waitresses. But I've learned, like, if I go to a breakfast spot and say I'm doing car hop here in Montgomery and my ticket's $8, I'm still going to give the guy $5 because why not?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that you just, if you're able to, some people aren't able to tip like that, but if you're able to, it's just the right thing to do. If you've ever had to work one of these crummy, sorry jobs, then I'm all about tipping. I don't, I just don't think people really think about that. But like I said, if you're financially able to, then it's something you should do just because, that you don't need the government telling you to do this good thing. You just do it because you're a good person, right?
Right. I agree. Have you ever run across like the Steve Buscemi character at the beginning of Reservoir Dogs, like somebody who just will, on principle, not tip?
Yes, I have people like that in my life who are stingy. I'm like, come on, what is that $3 that you're going to tip? How is that going to change your life? It's going to mean more to this person, and I mean, they may be able to get something to eat because you tipped them $3. Just come on. I mean, I am telling you, that's just how the world is.
Yeah, and also, if you're generous, people tend to remember it, and you tend to get pretty consistent good service, and there's
right.
If you're nice to people, they're nice.
Generous.
Yeah.
I'm especially generous at places that I frequent, that I regularly go to. I mean, I think you've got to be. And I just, it's not that big of a difference to me. Not that I'm Mr. Moneybags over here, but when I do go out, when I have time to go out, just make it as easy as possible. I'll pay the extra $5, $10, whatever dollars. Just do the right thing for me and make sure my experience is good, and I'll be appreciative of that. And that's the kind of like relationship I want with the people in the service industry.
Yeah, well, but though you say you're not Mr. Moneybags, I thought I saw behind like that beautiful home studio you have. Like, don't you have like a Scrooge McDuck like coin-filled swimming pool that you're Yeah.
No, unfortunately, but just for me, like, I you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to be like the Rodney Dangerfield character in Caddyshack or whatever. But you do want to show that you appreciate it, and I just empathize with these people because I've been in their shoes with these crummy jobs where humanity is awful. People are awful to their fellow human beings that have to work in the service industry, and I understand it. I get it. And I'm probably going to be, I mean, I don't know what their tip look like, but I'm not going to be that person. Okay? I've been there too many times.
Yeah, I did delivery driving in the wee hours of the night in Auburn, and $60 order, 1:30 in the morning. I'm driving out in the middle of nowhere, and I get nothing. And it's just that's feeling.
Tough, though.
Oh, it's awful.
It's tough to be in that industry in Auburn because you're serving a bunch of broke college kids, right?
Right. Well, it worked out when I did the rickshaw driving. I learned not to pick up hot young girls. They did not tip worth anything. But if you pick up the middle-aged couple there for a football game, they're very generous. Or the drunk LSU fans.
There you go.
The drunk LSU fans were a lot of fun. So,
I could see that, too.
Well, I appreciate the time as always, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, thinking about, how can they do so?
It is x.com/Jeff_Poor.
Appreciate it. Talk again soon.
Thanks, Joey.
Again, Jeff Ford, folks. And I still remember to this day. Again, it's a rickshaw, so it's like a bicycle with a carriage on the back, and I don't have anybody in it. And I'm going by the upper quad, near the Haley Center in Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, more towards like College Street, not towards the actual stadium.
Right.
And we were playing LSU, Auburn's playing LSU, and so there's this one big, huge tailgate right there in the upper quad. They must have known somebody at Auburn. It's nice real estate, and they had a heck of a kick-butt tailgate going. I mean, huge speakers. You could see the spread of food.
Nice.
Like, you could see cooler after cooler after cooler. They were not hurting for any sort of, spirits,
right,
so to speak. And this one guy was clearly drunk off his you-know-what, and he's just yelling things to passersby. He's waving an oversized LSU flag. And I'm just kind of waiting there trying to catch my breath, pick out, who am I going to pick up next? And he goes, "You." And I'm like, "Huh? You?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, I you. Here's $100. I'm like, "You want me to take you somewhere?" "No, Yeah, you're just cool. Like, okay, man. I like drunk LSU fans.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good money.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
No, seriously, picking up the hot chicks. Like, I just went uphill to get you all the way to the frickin' bar here on the strip. What is wrong with you?
You're a sucker.
Yeah.
But lesson learned, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's all that matters.
Now, are you a big tip guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know me.
Now, do you know anybody that's out of principle?
Yes.
Oh, really?
I know quite a few.
Are they older?
Yes.
Yep.
Let me tell you, man. And this is how I learned it, I guess. When we drove across country, we drove to Alaska, or as far as we could go. We couldn't take each other no more. We took a plane. But anyway, we made it to, at some point, we were in Wyoming. God knows where, Wyoming. And at some side of the road restaurant, and we were getting ready to leave, and I saw my dad leave like $3. It was me, my dad, my mom, and my sister.
Okay.
Bill, I don't know what the bill was, but I even looked at that and went, that ain't even worth stealing.
Yeah, like 4 of y'all, that's a pretty good check.
So I remember saying something to my parents about it. They kind of just mocked me. And but that stopped with my generation. I tip very well. Always have been. In fact, and that's how you get the good service. Like when we go to Jamaica, we go to the resort, it's all inclusive. A lot of times they won't let you tip them. What you do is ahead of time, you see the bartender. As I'm going to my room, I give him $20. I said, every time you see me, make sure you got a banana daiquiri for me. And he does.
Yeah.
There'll be people in line, but when I'm walking by, Eddie,
Well,
Eddie.
it's basic, like, reward and reinforcing things you like.
Yeah.
Like, Biloxi Gambler called about this the other day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you go up to the bartender at the beginning of the night,
Get
you
on the
know
front
going to be
side.
there, and, yeah, he's going to have your back. I also learned that tipping's one thing, but I learned on a couple cruises where I was, like, the only person my age there, especially that Disney cruise.
Oh, boy.
There are off hours where the bars aren't busy. Just go hang out with the bartenders and get to know them. And
They'll
you're
feed you drinks all
golden.
night.
Yeah, even
Feed
when it
you
gets
drinks all
crowded.
night, man.
Yeah. And half the time they wouldn't even charge me.
Right.
Yeah. It was like, okay, if you're just nice to people, it tends to be reciprocated.
Hey, did you guys have any fights on your cruise? I've been seeing videos of lots of fights on cruises here lately.
Again, I was about to break out because I told you this Disney one. It's like if I hear Under the Sea
They
one
should
more
have
time,
one area you can go to where you do not have
your
to
room.
hear.
You can go to your
that's it.
room.
Oh, no, Joey.
Even the top deck. I brought my guitar to like play and stuff, and like, oh, I can't.
You
do
couldn't
it.
play along?
Mm-mm. I was going to play Sexy MF by Prince in the elevator
Yeah.
and people hopped in as a joke. And,
Yeah.
But instead, it's like, I
Got
want to
drowned
be
out?
where the people are.
Oh, God, how
A
awful.
whole new world.
Awful.
It's like, shut up.
No wonder they drink so much on those cruises.
I just can't
Man, that
wait
would be
to
awful.
king. Anyway.
But as a child, that would be the most greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
on,
yeah.
yeah,
It'd
you
be
know.
amazing. And they were showing off. I think we got the port, some off the Caymans, I think. That ship that Disney has can do a full 360. And it doesn't have just a normal horn, the signal it's coming in. It can play music.
Oh, really?
So they were doing a full 360 and just playing music through the loud horns. And it's just, you've got to know the
Flexing?
other, like, cruise ship captains
Yeah.
are just like, just go away.
Flexing
They're
a
like
little
the
bit there.
Yankees. They're like the Cowboys. They just suck. Evil Empire.
Yeah, oh, yes.
I like the Crimson Tide. Oh, sorry, you bammers. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
What's up, guys?
Hey, David.
What's up, Dave?
You know, I've been known to go to restaurants, and I'll sit down, order my food, and I'll pull out a 20 and set it on the table and tell the waitress, if you have my meal to me in 5 minutes and it's good, you'll get that $20 bill and maybe some more.
Oh,
And I mean, I guarantee you I will have my food in 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if they have to steal somebody else's. I'm going to get my food.
no, that's a fun strategy. I like that. Make them. Here's the reward. You got to work for it. Now, but what's the
That's
threshold of you're being a generous tipper to like you're carrying around so much money and offering it's like the beginning of a porno? Like what are we doing here?
Listen, I mean, if I get just average service, I'll tip 15%. If I get excellent service, I've been known to tip 30, even 40%.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, exactly. It's good to be generous. I like that though. Here's your potential tip plus. Now work for me.
Yeah, go for it. So, and I do the same thing on cruises. I mean, even though I pay all my tips prior, if I'm getting excellent service,
I'll actually throw in additional tips to people. I mean, I'm just thinking if someone's going out of their way to give excellent service, they deserve it.
Here. Especially young kids, people struggling waiting tables. Like, I mean, they definitely
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I take the time to talk to some of the waiters and waitresses, like on cruise lines, and kind of get their backstory. And most of them are making big sacrifices.
Oh yeah,
to be there working on that ship. So I have no problem if they give good service. Going ahead and giving them extra tip money. That's no problem whatsoever. So have a good one, guys.
Appreciate that. No, just imagine, like, say, hey, if you want this 20, let's get the food out here quick. That's cool, actually. I think that could work. I mean, it could backfire. But if you're like, now here's $200, and if you, I don't think you should go
I've heard other people's deal. They'll put like $30 on the table, and they say, this is your tip.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do things wrong, I'm going to remove money from that throughout the night. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, to me, that's just a jerk move. Just tip them and be done with it.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Donkey Lori, guys.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, I very rarely get to, travel, and I'm from the beach. I was raised on Pensacola Beach. So anyway, short story long. When I just went down and stayed at the Holiday Inn Resort on Pensacola Beach, Bed Center from Blue Angel Show, whole 9 yards. Well, I have a sister that is a manager at the McGuire's Pub, which is, before you get on the bridge for the beach. But so anyway, I go down and I'm waiting for my sister and her kids to come over because they're going to stay the weekend with me. And it's kind of late, and I was having a few cocktails, and I, just kind of talk with the young folks that work there. Come to find out, they don't leave the beach like Blue Angels weekend. Some of those young waiters and waitresses are sleeping in their cars because they can't get back across the bridge.
Yep.
Oh, damn.
Get back, yeah.
So, and then, some of them will pool together and, get a room together. The conference room at the hotel I stayed at was where a lot of those servers had their sleeping bags and stuff. And so they they couldn't leave the beach because getting back was impossible.
Yep.
And then come to find out that they don't get anything extra for working like they do that entire weekend. So y'all, after a few cocktails, and I'm a 25% and plus tipper.
Okay.
That's just me. But after a few cocktails, I had several $100s in cash on me, and I just started walking around and passing out $20 bills to them. And I said, every person here in this hotel needs to tip cash, and they need to start passing out $20 bills if they knew what you young folks are doing. To make sure we're taken care of. And I promise you, by the second, third day there, I'd go up to the bar and I'd buy a beer, and I would, give a $20 tip for a $6 beer. And there was a time when they wouldn't even take my money anymore. They're like, nope, this beer's on us. Nope, this beer's on us. But every server, older, younger, male, female, treated me so well, and I almost felt guilty because I was like, that's not why I'm doing this. I'm telling you, I appreciate you.
All right, right. But they're going to the back going, that's the lady passing out 20.
Right. That's the
lady. I did, because after that first night when I started passing out $20 bills, I had to go to the ATM.
It's pretty generous right there.
Right? And then I'd pass those out, and I'd go back to the ATM and get some more. But young folks I hadn't even met yet, they were like, you're the one. You're the one. One of the head bartenders out on the Tiki area, his mom drove down from Alabama. She's like, that's my baby, and she said, you're the kind woman going around. I've heard about you. And it's not, yes, that was awesome for my little pride or whatever, but that's not why I did it. I just wanted them young people to know. And then I'm going to say this and I'm going to hang up, shut up, because I'm sitting in Shelter parking lot. One of the guys who was kind of like the spokesman, they had been complaining to management because people don't really tip the cash anymore, and going on credit cards and stuff. Anyway, somehow or another, it wasn't working out well for these young servers at all.
Hmm.
This one guy's going as the in-between. I was picking up conversation, and I just chimed in, and I said, I'm not going to say who I'm voting for, and I don't mean to bring politics in it. I said, but you do know that Trump's going to eliminate tax on tips, right? And he's like, what? And I said, yeah. I said, I know you're young. Maybe you don't really follow what's going on politically right now, but I just wanted to let you know in case you want
There you
to
go.
spread the word.
No, that'd be great too, because it's much more convenient to tip electronically, but that's easier to track tax-wise.
Always give them cash, man. Give them
So-
cash. Give them cash.
Absolutely.
Oh, hold on, let me take off my tennis shoe. It's in my sock.
Keep your quarter, sir.
and,
You're okay.
I'm just thinking of that
We
Curb Your
did a-
Enthusiasm episode. It's like, no, keep your dollar.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck
We
out.
did a family birthday, like three in our family had a birthday here locally recently. So we all went to a restaurant in Prattville. And, we were a big party, and we were loud and super needy and, and all that, but super polite. My family was very, very polite. And we all, it was like a $400 tab when we were done, okay? But everybody made sure there was a big pile of cash
There you go.
for that sweet young lady that waited on us. And then we didn't eat all the 2 birthday cakes that were brought. And I had bought Tupperware containers so everybody could take birthday cake home with them. The lady and the other servers who helped her, I'm telling you, their eyes got big, and we were like, y'all want cake?
Who don't want cake?
Who don't want cake? Y'all have a good one.
Thank you,
for
Lori.
that.
Thank you, Lori. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. Reed Waters and the team there at Clearwater's are ready to help you with tree removal,
Yeah, buddy.
tree trimming, and stump grinding. Could be full-on removal, like you've got a leaner on
Got
your
a leaner,
hands,
man.
or maybe it already fell. You just need to
Yep.
get it off your property. Of course, they can do that for you. Maybe you just need some trimming. It could be just overgrowth in general around your yard.
Right.
Could be line of sight issues, blocking the driveway. Maybe branches are slapping up against the siding or overhanging the home in a precarious way. Well, they can get rid of all that for you with tree trimming. And of course, stump grinding. Well,
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go. Like, get rid of the stump. It's ugly.
Nobody wants
It
that.
attracts nasty, nasty critters.
Mm-hmm.
So call them up today. For tree removal, tree trimming, and stump grinding, Clearwater's Property Management is the place to go. That number, 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Ken.
Hey,
Hey,
Ken.
Ken.
Years ago, I saw an old black and white video, and it was Jackie Gleason being interviewed. And he was talking about tipping. He said he went to this restaurant and asked the waiter when everybody got sat down. He goes, "Son, what's the biggest tip you ever got?" He said, $50. And he goes, "Being the show-off I was, I reached in my pocket and gave him a $100 bill. He said, I want you to take care of us all night." He said, "Yes, sir, Mr. Gleason," and all this. He said, "Oh, by the way, who was it who gave you the $50? He goes, "It was you."
Nice.
So what comes around goes around.
Yep.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
And let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Charles.
Hey, Charles.
How you doing, brothers?
All right.
People nowadays, people really don't tip. Those people that you're talking to are a rarity. Most people, they're god awful when it comes to tipping. They, I watch it when I'm eating in restaurants and stuff, and see families leave, and I'll see them dig in their pocket, pull change out, and lay change on the table.
Yep.
I don't know. And it was so bad by the time if it's hard tip, they get taxed on it. I really think that's unfair for people.
Yeah, it is.
Because the very, very definition of a tip, is supposed to be that. I
Right.
mean, it's not, and then, I know somebody that, I ain't going to say names, but I know somebody and their boss holds the tip, and you get one tip check a month.
Ooh.
The tips that were paid on card, and then that check is taxed.
Yep.
Damn.
And it's like, I don't understand people that are for all this crap that the Democrats and all them are trying to push with free this and free that. Do they not understand basic economics that nothing is free? I mean, someone's got to pay for it, and it's going to be them as well as us.
Well,
for them to get.
You'll now have common sense Democrats going, well, we are for getting rid of tax on tipping. Then why were you all for it 2 years ago?
2 years ago. That's right.
Like, come on, guys. Like, they're lying to you.
Yeah, and it's what's so sad, and I'll just say it because most people don't. People are so ignorant nowadays and have their heads in the clouds so far that, I mean, like eating bugs. They can sell anything to people, man. Yep. People are so ignorant, and it blows my mind. I saw a sticker that said Kamala, and the A was a cat.
Oh, no.
And that's the kind of people that are voting for her. Cat people that they ain't got no common sense. I mean, for the life of me, I can't, because if she was going to fix things, she's had 3.5 years to fix things.
Yeah.
I mean,
or she could do it now. What's stopping her from just doing it now?
Nothing stopping neither one of them
right.
doing it. Except poor Joe forgets where he's at from 1 minute to the other. But, besides that, I mean, she's another puppet that they're going to be able to control. Mm-hmm. That the deep state's going to be able to manipulate.
Yep, exactly right.
Really not be running any. Oh, she can't even talk. She can't talk for 60 seconds without laughing. Yeah. And all that showing that you see, all that dancing and all that stuff they've been doing, they don't realize how much of an embarrassment we are to the rest of the country, or to really worldwide.
Especially Funnel Cake Dad. I mean, that guy needs to like put an extra suit on so he doesn't move around so much. It's like you wiggle worm weirdo. Anyway.
But what about stolen valor? I mean, that's the most important thing.
Right.
I mean, how could anybody in their right mind that cares about our country and says they care about U.S. citizens, how could they give that man any more screen time after he was blatantly caught in lying about military service?
Well, because it's the Republicans that pointed it out. It's actually the guys he served with who mostly pointed it out.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the call, Charles. Appreciate it, man.
See you, Charles.
Got to hit this break first. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and the team are ready to help you with that roof of yours.
Yep.
Could be an asphalt or a metal roof. Should get it inspected on a regular basis for basic preventative maintenance. And, some people wait 3 years, 5 years, but we've been recommending do it on an annual basis. Do it every year.
I would.
Because with River Region Contracting, number one, their inspections are free.
Absolutely free, Joe.
And their estimates are free.
Yeah.
And they're insurance specialists, so they know how to walk you through that claims process.
That's exactly right.
So if the insurance company's trying to get a little, cheap on you,
they'll do it.
They know how to grease the skids, so to speak. So check out River Region Contracting today. There's a reason folks have been calling them the premier roofing contractor here in the River Region. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd and the team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Again, 334-272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. We'll come right back to all these calls.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
We are enjoying a nice break from humidity and some pleasantly cool nights. An August rarity, really. Sunshine warm today with a high around 93, but tolerable humidity. Clear skies, pleasantly cool tonight. Overnight low temperature in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 90s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Abundant sunshine each day. Nice nights. And back to the mid-90s on Sunday, but still dry. Rain prospects not good for the next several days. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Soon we'll be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. During our big moving sale, get a great deal on a Kubota with 0% APR up to 84 months with approved credit. Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor in Montgomery or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 334-272-9228 if you want to call in on the program. That's 272-9228. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Wetumpka John. Hey, John.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, bud?
Good. Yeah, just wanted to weigh in on this topic of tipping.
Yes.
And one of the things that I used to do, and I'm a retired educator, so I did a lot of trips with kids, and on those trips, one of the things I did is I told them, I said, all right, now we're going to take up tips for our bus driver. And whoever it was, because they took off all day for us, moved their schedule around and everything, and I said, now look, if you don't tip them, I'm not taking you anywhere else. So
there you go.
That's how I did it. And not only did I do that, but when we went to restaurants and things like that, because you have to teach young people that they need to do that. And if they haven't learned that, then they need to learn it from somewhere. And so that's what I did. When I took them to a restaurant, I said, all right, y'all figure up your 20%. And one of the kids would protest. And I would break it down for them and say, look, they're making $2.15 an hour. And then I would go through the economics of it with someone that's doing that for a living. And I said, you need to share part of what you have with them. So that's the way I did it. And that was my little way of doing a little education on the topic.
Yeah, no, I think that's beautiful. And it is amazing how folks don't have the ability to empathize a little bit with, say, the help, the service that you're getting. Like, you just got to think it through. Mistakes happen, and there are bad servers, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Generally speaking, folks are trying to do right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in our world today, if they have a job at all, they're better than a lot of people out there that are doing nothing.
Exactly.
Well,
so I was just going to say, along that line, that's like most of the time, ladies that work in these service stations, and I used to have a job in that area where I inspected stations, and during COVID and all of that, I always had a great deal of respect for them because they probably could have stayed at home and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always taught that I don't care what you're making a living doing, I respect you for going to a job every day. I don't care what the job is.
Right.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the call, John.
Thanks, John.
Sure.
See you, bud.
Let's go to Babs. Hey, Babs, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys this afternoon?
We're all
Pretty
right.
good.
Good. Well, that was one of the things that I was going to say. People don't realize that these waiters and waitresses, they don't make but a little over $2 an hour. And I am not as generous a tipper as you are, but like if I go to Dairy Queen and get an ice cream, I leave $1. If I go get a burger or, roast beef sandwich, I leave $1. It's not much, But I tell them, I just appreciate you working.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that was the main thing that I was going to say. People don't realize that these most of these waiters and waitresses, they don't make no money. The tips is how they make it, and they shouldn't be taxed. And I'm like you. I always cash, Eddie.
Yep, that's the way
Learned
to
that
do it.
lesson. So, but that's all I wanted to say. People need to realize they're not making, minimum wage. They're making basically nothing.
Right.
So, all right. I love the show as usual. You guys have a great rest of the day.
You too,
Babs.
Babs.
Appreciate you.
Now, have you ever let somebody tip for you, Joey, and then get the credit card receipt and go, that son of a...
No, I don't. Well, I've just now gotten, good credit and a few cards. So,
Well, we used to go out, when I worked at the plant, we'd go out pretty regularly. One time we were down at the alley and we were drinking way more than we should have.
oh yeah,
Put on the
I've known
fur
those
coats
nights.
And go in the freezer shop.
Oh
room
yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole nine
Slam
yards.
the shot
They even
glass
had
down.
a riding bull there, inflatable bull.
We
to ride.
probably ran into each other before we even knew each other.
Well, we used to big time each other all the time. That's what we did.
Oh,
We
big
made-
time.
We made plenty of money, and you know,
Right.
we had no problem spending it with each other. Well, one night I let my buddy Johnny Lambert, and I hope you're listening, Johnny, just go ahead and use my card and pay. He gave the chick a $150 tip.
That's big time in
And so-
somebody.
oh, she come up and give me a hug, and I'm like, didn't even think about what's going on. Then later, they're all snickering. I'm like, what? And they're like, where do you get the bill? Where do you get the bill?
Yeah, it's always good. It's a lesson from Machiavelli. Be generous with other people's money.
Exactly.
The Democrats do it all the time.
Exactly.
And so do a lot of the Republicans.
That was good times.
Yeah, that is good right there. Now, I do it's the biggest tips probably is when you have to pull tips for things like a bachelor party. And you do some big thing like you do.
Oh, yeah. We do that deep sea fishing.
Yeah, you do some big event.
Yeah.
And you have to, and you're like, what? Like sometimes the service, I mean, it's often worth it, but dadgum, that's often a lot.
I think our deep sea fishing guides, or not the guides, but the deckhands, they'll usually walk away with about $1,000.
Right.
And I mean, we already paid for the tip or the trip. This was just strictly cleaning the fish and putting up with our lazy drunk butts all day. So yeah. And they do. They earn the money.
272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation, again, that's 334-272-9228. And it's important to especially tip the young people, the Utes.
The Utes?
Because Peter St. Onge today is talking about millennials and Gen Z are giving up, quote, spiraling, partying hard, and blowing their savings as they descend into financial oblivion. Like, I'm not doing that on purpose. I'm trying to save. But the Washington Post calls it embracing chaos. USA Today advises therapy. Neither mention the inflation and shriveling wages that are hollowing out. Yeah, if your money's not holding any value, this is what
Might as
people
well
are going
blow
to do.
it, yeah.
It's a thing in economics called time preference.
Yeah.
And so the higher time preference, I believe, is when you want the money right now.
Gotta have it. Yep.
And if you have a lower time preference, it means, no, I can put it off. And we've, as a society, become more high time preference. We want it like right now, today,
Instant
this month.
gratification. That's our society. Has been.
Yeah, and it has its effects, folks. This is what I constantly harp on, beyond just the money, like, oh, the debt's so big. It's like the fundamental principles. I'm sorry, if you're looking at the folks who built this country, often many of them are just not alive anymore. They were such suckers thinking you built an economy based on productive work, savings, and investment. You could just print it and put it on a credit card. Because, we say Americans are addicted to, drugs and alcohol and the prescription drugs and the palatable foods and all this stuff. Americans in particular, if you go look up charts, are addicted to credit card.
Oh, no doubt.
And I'm not even judging because it's the only way you can really make ends meet for the time being. You're just trying to survive. But
Instant gratification.
this
I
is
want it
not
now.
a good road we're going down.
It's one thing to use credit to buy things you need in life, like a house.
Right.
Using credit, a car. But when you're using credit, and I've been that guy buying drinks tonight. We're going out drinking.
Sure.
Throw it on my card. I don't get paid till Friday, but it's Wednesday.
I use a particular card as more my everyday. I use it as protection, essentially. Because I started to get a little nervous about putting my debit card everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So now I have one credit card that actually does a pretty great job flagging different transactions
That's
if it's
good.
unusual. And I'm like, no, I did that one.
Yeah, no, that's the really bad thing where they send you something, you go, oh no, that was
your card
me.
was
You're
declined.
really-
I'm like, what? The funds are there. They're like, you never buy this stuff. I'm like, well, I did now.
Happened to me one time with a gun.
Oh, really?
I got really upset, and I thought it was the lady behind the counter, and she's like, no. And she told me, she said, if you buy so many guns, and I had bought 2 that week.
Oh,
If
so
buy
you were
many
buying a
guns-
third gun.
Right. It was a gift, but exactly right. She said, they will stop you. I was
Did you
like,
getting
"You're crazy."
angry make the situation better?
I made it a lot worse.
I was about to say, don't sell the angry man. Come back tomorrow, sir.
I did get a call that said, okay, you can go buy the gun a couple days later, and I made sure I found her and apologized.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Because I know you got a tempo.
Oh,
on you.
I've lost it.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and the team are really doing great work. I
Yeah.
think she'll be joining us on Friday to discuss
Excellent.
the kind of the future, what's coming up in the fall, what you should be getting ready for in the fall. And of course, they'll always be sharing tips about how to make sure your home is safe from those little pests.
Oh, yeah.
Just go to the Book of Faces, type in Pest Pro Services. They have a very active Facebook page. And when you work with them, they're going to, sit down, get to know you and understand, well, here's what your home needs.
You're talking about their Facebook page, and they got this thing on there, Joe. You ever heard of an earwig?
Mm-mm.
It's a disgusting looking bug that's got these little pinchers on the backside.
Oh, no.
And that's what they're talking about today. They're educating you on earwigs. Oh, yeah, it looks quite disgusting. And the thought of it being called an earwig just makes me think, these go in your ear while you're sleeping?
So whether you have a specific job you want to get done, like termite inspection or treatment, mosquito treatment, maybe you find a huge cockroach nest or a huge wasp nest, or if you're just looking for a trusted local company that can be your everyday pest control place, that's Pest Pro Services.
Oh, 100%.
So call them today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas, those jokers on the radio sent you. How about this? Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Dr. Sam. Is this
Hey,
Joey?
Sam. Hey, Sam, how are you?
I'm doing great. Eddie, Joey, y'all sounding fantastic today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, hang on a sec. This 18-wheeler is about to run me off the road.
Don't let that happen now.
We don't want that, do we?
No, we don't.
Anyway, what's the biggest tip that you have ever left?
Ever left?
It'd
It'd probably be something, a few $100, something like a bachelor party
Yep.
situation where we're tipping somebody was doing private, like, beer and wine, liquor
Yeah.
service.
I think I tipped
Stuff
one
like
of the guys in Jamaica that kept us for a week. He was our driver for a week. We gave him $700-800 tip at the end
Oh,
of
and
the
there
week.
was that one time where the guy dragged me to the Cheetah in Atlanta. I don't know if that's.
I kind of got to feel
I
like
don't
you
know if
didn't
that's
really tip that well that night, don't you?
I don't know if that's a tip or not. Like,
that's just
it
admission.
felt
fee.
like a tip.
Well, back when at the Grand, not the Beau Rivage, but the Grand, it had down in Biloxi, it had the skin divers and the scuba divers that
Yeah.
go down there and feed the fish and all. So it was beautiful. I hated it got washed away. But anyway, so I was dating this girl that worked with Eli Lilly. Yeah. So, so we had all the limos go over there, and they fed the doctors and all that BS. But so they were going to a show after that. She gave me the credit card. She said, "Take care of it." I said, "No problem." So the bill came to $10,000. Now there were about 16 of us, but they were ordering all kinds of high-end champagne and anything and everything.
Right.
So I left that waiter a $2,000 tip.
You made his mortgage, man.
That's
Hey, you ain't kidding. But you know what? He worked his butt
Yeah,
off.
it was worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't my money. So.
Exactly.
Hey, 20% is 20%, brother.
That's
There
right.
you go.
That's right.
Well,
But anyway, yeah, that's the biggest I've ever had. They
That's a
didn't
good
say a
one.
word about it. I mean, pharma is one thing, and it's money's no object to them. So
That's right.
I said, you know what? Here you go, brother. He said, my God. I said, what'd you expect? $50?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I appreciate the call,
Anyway.
Sam.
Okay, man.
Love you,
Have a great
Sam.
day.
See you, brother.
Great hearing from you.
Oh, yeah, love Dr. Sam.
Got to hit this top of the hour break. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. It is a major setback for the Biden administration and the Democrats. The government today saying between April 2023 and March of this year, the U.S. economy added 818,000 fewer jobs than were originally reported. Spokesman says the numbers are evidence the job market has been steadily slowing. Day 3 of the Democrats' National Convention in Chicago. On tap later, speeches by former President Bill Clinton and VP candidate Tim Walz. Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, are speaking today at a huge rally in Asheboro, North Carolina. One person has been killed, another injured in an explosion that leveled a house in Pennsylvania. Investigators say the blast apparently caused by a propane leak. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-8822. That's 800-838-8822. 800-838-8822. The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
We are enjoying a nice break from humidity and some pleasantly cool nights. An August rarity, really. Sunshine warm today with a high around 93, but tolerable humidity. Clear skies, pleasantly cool tonight. Overnight low temperature in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 90s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Abundant sunshine each day. Nice nights. And back to the mid-90s on Sunday, but still dry. Rain prospects not good for the next several days. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Hey there, this is Hannah Grantham with Forest Meadows Homes and Land. And since my partner Eddie Bader and I started advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting, we've seen the results from it daily. Blue Water Broadcasting has become a second family, and I recommend them to anyone looking to advertise their business.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the river region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The reward for information related to the June 24th shooting death of Holloway Basin has been increased to $7,500. Basin was shot outside the Roadrunner gas station on Woodley Road and died of his injuries 3 days later. He was 67 years old. 3 adult males are believed to be connected to the homicide. The Montessori School at Hampstead is breaking ground on a new campus. The school will make a short move from Hampstead's town center to land near Hampstead Farm. The new campus will increase the school's enrollment by 50% with students from 12 months to 7 years old. The new campus is expected to be completed by next summer. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed posted on social media Monday claiming the city was listed as one of the top 10 places to live in the United States. Reed also stated that U.S. News and World Report rated Montgomery as the second safest city in the United States. The mayor deleted his post yesterday. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
You probably know lots of people you trust to mow your lawn or wash your car. But when it comes to electrical work, you're picky, and you should be. See, electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. The sad truth is, each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. Crosby Electric has been serving the river region for almost 50 years. Their technicians are held to the highest standards of the profession. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, rigorous drug testing, continuous education, and safety training. The technicians at Crosby are specialists. They don't do plumbing. They don't fix air conditioners. They simply provide superior electric service in a safe and timely manner. Don't take chances. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us online at crosbyelectric.com.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
At Epicure and Jack's Tavern, every dish and sauce is freshly made in their kitchen, daily. No cans, no shortcuts, just pure, delicious food prepared with love. Experience the difference fresh ingredients make. Join them for a meal that tastes like home.
In your meal on a sweet note with their executive chef, Glenn Tarantino's homemade desserts at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Indulge in unique creations that change daily because every meal deserves a happy ending. Sweet, savory, and everything in between. Experience the dessert delights at Epicure and Jack's Tavern.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. I'm Joey. My trusty sidekick who wears a variety of pool liners every once in a while. Though he dressed up yesterday for a special guest.
I wore my good Crocs, and she appreciated it. She even
She
said,
did notice the good Crocs.
Yeah,
what Crocs are those?
Those are the leather covered.
Oh, yeah, they stank, though.
They do, Joey. Let's say I buy them in May. By mid-June, it's time to get a new pair.
Yeah, it's like, Senator, don't get too close to them. You'll get a whiff. Because as soon as I saw them, like, they're nice, but they stank. Like, that's
Some
just
of
how
us
that
have
works.
Sweaty feet. That's what happens.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we got a comment earlier.
Oh?
Maybe we got to encourage the comment section more because we haven't been getting as many lately. But Romex Angler saying, yeah, the guy is full of crap and lies. Well, that's a heck of a start. But Barry can deliver a good speech. I guess he's talking about Barack Obama. Watching last night made me almost miss hearing him. Romex Angler goes on to say, I think he was better than Big Mike.
Oh, I heard Big Mike gave a compelling speech.
Yeah? Is that what you heard?
That's what I heard.
Who did you hear that from?
My neighbor.
Your neighbor? A compelling speech.
I just got, it's neighbor talk. We're passing each other on the street.
Hey, neighbor, did you watch? Did the neighbor go? Big Mike gave a compelling speech.
No, they didn't use that particular terminology there.
Because that's very disrespectful.
How so? Everybody's got a nickname. They call me Opie. I don't get mad.
Well, here's some of that speech from Big.
That anyone can succeed if given the opportunity.
Uh-huh.
She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning. So my mother volunteered at the local school. She always looked out for the other kids on.
The home in Martha's Vineyard is worth $12 million.
Well, what's wrong with teaching somebody to fish instead of giving them a fish?
Folks who took more than they needed.
Who's that? Did they earn it?
Yeah.
And those that sat on the wayside, what did they earn?
Yeah, if you're truly greedy and you almost worship money, yeah, that's a problem. And you're probably going to be you'll be an awful person. You'll be an unhappy person. Yada yada yada.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just rich coming from these folks who all the biggest donors back the Democrats. Like, you are the party of corporatocracy.
Yep.
And if you think, oh, but our effective altruism will help us save the world if we make all this money and then use it to create these systems. Hey, can't we start calling the U.S. government, the federal government, greedy? Because it is.
Well, these are the same people with the Green New Deal, Joey, who say the oceans are rising, but they bought oceanfront property.
Right.
With a 30-year mortgage.
Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Good afternoon. Who takes more than they need? That's government.
Yeah, good point there.
Who her husband was part of. They just, they do it with a smile. But anyway, Slick Willie's going to be on deck tonight, isn't he?
Oh, I believe so. Yeah. So you get the Obamas last night, and Bill is going to, talk about melons.
I bet he is.
Speaking of tips, I wonder how much he tipped the old pizza guy that delivered the pizza for him in the Oval Office when his intern was there munching away. I wonder how much he tipped.
Might just give him a cigar and send him on his way.
I wonder how much if Mike Price would have tipped Destiny more, she probably wouldn't have rung up that big bill on the University of Alabama.
Well, somebody like Destiny, you got to tip them, but then you also have to pay them hush money. That's a separate transaction.
So, Joey, if you got a lap dance at the Cheetah, was that considered a tip?
No, it was New Year's Eve, and I was very, very sad.
Now, you encouraged her to take the tip, right?
No, I'll tell the story. It was 2015, so this is the year, Mom dies. I'm very, very sad going into the new year. Go see Buddy in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we going to do tonight? He's like, you ever been to the Cheetah? I'm like, no. And the standard happened. All of a sudden, these two gorgeous, these were not snaggletooth. Like, these are gorgeous young women.
So you were there.
Grab me and take me to a private room.
Oh, yes. That I've heard of that happen.
Yeah. So, yeah, the tip was it had to be big for the champagne. I was not happy, actually, with my friend. I'm like, what the hell? How much money? Really?
Is that how you lost that Bitcoin?
I wish. Could have gotten a lot more.
You take the young Auburn lad to the. You got to explain the rules of the road to him. You just can't leave him there and just let him try to figure it out on his own.
No, they just let me get sunburned. It was all right.
Hey, I saw where our mayor took down his post about Montgomery being the second safest city in the United States, and he and the mayor of Birmingham are both there in Chicago at the homicide capital of the world, and they got connecting rooms. And he said, if you'll post that your city is the most safest, then I can post ours is the second, and it'll all be relative because we're here at the homicide capital of the world, and we really won't be lying. So
I want some of what they're smoking, man.
Yeah, they got the good stuff.
I think it's called
gentlemen.
Power. I appreciate it.
See you Simpler Days.
Let's go to Crawdad. Hey, Crawdad.
Good afternoon, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
You folks were talking about tips, and I had a question, please. Oh, by the way, if Joey and friends there wanted to have a suggestion box or something for topics to give you guys so that when we call later, maybe you had already read over and said, that topic needs to be talked about. So a suggestion box.
That'd be great.
That would be really nice.
Joey, if you'll go out the address, I'll tell them what you want to do is take $20, put your suggestion in an envelope with our address on it, and send it to the station.
No.
Now, you know what?
How are we ever going to make any money?
Long story. That's a long story. X-ray glasses in the back of the comic book. It's a ripoff.
No, you could always just message Eddie or I. Be like, y'all should talk about this.
Cole, now back to focusing on what I had the question, please. You were talking the issue about tips. Can you tell me what's the thing here? Because if someone is trying to work, go to school, and doing all this, and taking home a little bit of money in tips, it's not going to be enough. So, what was this about taking off taxing charges against people's tips? I totally agree. I want to know if anybody disagrees, and why in the world would you want to disagree with removing the taxes on a person trying to do a job that's a service industry job, which I have done several times, different things. And yeah, removing the tip charge of taxes, what is the problem with you guys? With some people, maybe, I don't know.
Well, we just hired a bunch of IRS agents to go after people. So
Well, and because more and more people are going to the so-called gig economy, and so they're trying to follow the cash cow.
Cannot talk about Gestapo and Stasi on this radio station, you Americanus. When I went out of this country one time, I have all my life wanted to visit Cairo and go up the road to the Mediterranean and just to visit there. So I went over there, and the time frame that I went, the U.S. dollar was very strong. The Egyptian pound was $7. If you had one U.S. dollar, you bought 7 pounds Egyptian in money. I was very happy to be talking about tipping here. And anybody who's in the service industry, you're going to really appreciate good work. Somebody does you right, you tip them right. It's a job. They have families. Anyway, while in Cairo and up the road in Alexandria, I had a really good time, very well serviced, happy to tip, and I was not thinking about it going from $1 to 7 pound Egyptian. I tipped when, like an American in America.
Right.
So there was a really nice riverboat on the Nile there at Zamalek, and it was Applebee's. So me and my friend were on the Applebee's riverboat, have a great dinner. The two of us together, I think U.S. dollars, I probably tipped $20. The food, guys, for two people having a nice dinner. Think Applebee's in Montgomery if you went out to dinner. What's that going to run you? $20 maybe? $30 maybe?
Yeah, sure.
You know? Okay. So if I tip up there like I tip here, the waiter and the service people, they like, what? Are you kidding? Are you crazy? But they were very grateful, and they did fantastic. We should all tip like that here, because we got folks that you're doing the bussing. You bussing tables. You're working in the kitchen like I did. You're working the table waiting. This is a job. You did not get up and cook your own dinner. You did not clean your own plate. They did it. So make sure that you appreciate the fact somebody did all that work for you to enjoy having your night out away from having to do your own cooking. In the name of Jesus Christ, let us all treat each other better, please. Amen.
I appreciate the call, Crawdad.
See you, Crawdad.
Yeah, I haven't heard it that way before. Tip because of Jesus.
Whatever.
Not a bad message.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey, guys. Interesting topics today. I want to take a minute to brag on one of your sponsors real quick, and I've talked about it before, Joey, before I talk about this tip thing. And I got to kind of do a little preamble here, so just bear with me. It'll take a second. I have a condition called ankylosing spondylitis. Now, that is, in just ordinary terms, rheumatoid arthritis. Is a particular form of rheumatoid arthritis, which, the calcium deposits build up, especially along places like your spinal column and facet nerves and things like that. On top of that, when I was little, very young, they say, and probably maybe in my early adolescence, broke my back more than once, and my hip bone on the left side has grown into L4 and L5. It didn't grow in straight, though. They're crooked.
All right.
So I deal with a whole lot of pain.
Right.
And so I had to have all these medical treatments to kind of keep me up and going. I mean, ordinarily you wouldn't know it if you didn't know, because I don't whine about it. But because I do, it caused me to have low T's. These medical treatments, all of these medicines and everything, according to my doctors,
yes,
that's the reason for it.
Opioids in particular.
Yes. And boy, they have truly helped me out amazingly. So, I mean, I am amazed by the results, actually.
That's awesome, man.
And so, but it's not just maybe the obvious. It's little things like my energy level. Eddie, I'm having to resize my wedding ring.
Oh, wow.
It's falling off.
Wow.
I'm losing the weight. I'm getting back down to my girlish high school figure here, dear.
Getting back down to your fighting weight.
I'm telling you. I think, I'm not going to say for sure, but that I have like a thinning hair, pattern baldness, but not much. But right on the crown of my head. And I swear it looks like it's growing back in.
Wow.
It's like, the results are incredible.
That's good to hear.
That is a great sponsor. They do a fantastic job, and I feel perfectly comfortable going in there about anything and everything. So, anyway.
I love hearing that, Papa B.
Yeah, man.
Hey, and real quick, if you want to have the same sort of success, you've been feeling down, or maybe you've been going through treatments similar to what Papa B's been going through, that number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or you can always go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. You can really book the same day that you call. Low T issues they specialize in, and they can help you out, as Papa B just said.
Well, for that reference check, you sent it to P.O. Box 182.
I ain't tipping you, big boy.
Speaking of tip, I made my son and daughter work when they were in college, and later in their late years of high school too, and they worked as waiter, waitress, and a restaurant that y'all would know, and it was a great little job for them to get some what I call chicken change, some jingle in their pocket. I did it because I wanted them to know the value of money and the value of hard work. And believe me, they have learned that lesson thoroughly. But in their experience in waiting, doing their job there were some people that would come in that would be known by the staff or whatever not to tip, and nobody wanted to wait on it.
Yep, that's what happens.
And I just, but there's like they had to kind of thing, you know. But they were treated horribly. Some, had this entitlement mentality that they were just looking for something to be wrong with their order so that they could get it for free.
Yep.
I mean, just outrageous, just ruined the night for everybody and anybody around them. And I'm telling you what, in a just society, the manager of that place should be able to grab somebody like that up by the nape of the neck and cast them out into the street. But in this society, there ain't no justice in some instances, or we've allowed justice to be stymied on account of this, that, or the other. And so sooner or later, though, that's going to have to change, because I'm telling you what, when I'm not like an exorbitant tipper or anything, but I tip, I'm very generous, But when you see somebody that just is being so nasty to people, the waiters, the staff, the manager, and, making them, causing a commotion, it just, it's not good. I don't like it. And I wish that something else could be done about it, actually. But anyway, that's my tipping thing.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
272-9228. Let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
Great job, buddy. Very interesting events going on. Let me tell you one health alert that came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about semaglutide. Now on national news, they're putting out a suicide warning on these drugs, Ozempic and Mounjaro.
Oh, really?
MCR, man. And, you and I were discussing the other day, I think it's criminal what they've done with semaglutide, just like they did with Ritalin and Adderall.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not telling people what's going on, how much it's messing their body up, and they said people who have those tendencies anyway, which now seems to be half the medication, seems to cause suicidal thoughts. That was the last one I thought would be involved with that, but it's going to be a national alert about it. And
I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah, and they have deceived people into thinking they can take Ozempic and it's going to make them lose weight. On average, these people that weigh 250 pounds and above only lose 30 pounds. Guys, that's not even an impact. And
You're
the
right,
scary
actually,
part
it's
about this obesity thing for everybody is that it's not fat. People need to realize they have become inflamed. This is inflammation. It's no longer fat.
Well, it's both. And, a big old gut, a lot of that hard fat can be a real problem. But you're right. Also, people are ingesting things that are causing massive inflammation, as well as bloating and all sorts of other digestive issues.
Yep.
Well, Joey, there's something else going on because it's to an abnormal rate, to an abnormal amount of people. There is something going on that's making these people blow up like Michelin Man.
Yep.
And it's every damn where.
74% of Americans are overweight, and I think 50% of the nation is diabetes 2 or pre-diabetes.
And and nobody can get rid of it. So what is this stuff?
I think largely it's our highly processed food system.
Yep.
It's most likely the case.
Oh, yes, and it's whacking everybody's hormones out.
Yes.
And you know what? It's going to be real hard to reverse. I hear Greg talk all the time about he's trying to lose weight. I'd be dead if I did the things this man did.
Yeah,
I would literally.
Sweatsuits.
See, I was 212 this morning, and I ate a whole pizza by myself last night because I felt like it.
And, the Cheetah Club is where Ray Lewis's bodyguards stabbed those two guys that were smart off to him.
Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I kept my mouth shut.
And that's when Atlanta had its first last call law. There was no last call in Atlanta until Ray Lewis's bodyguards stabbed those people at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then they made it 4 o'clock, and then they made it 3 o'clock. But when I lived there, Joey, there was no damn last call.
Not the time I went. We were there late. It was very
no
expensive.
Last call. And if you want to meet strippers, all you got to do is go out to the 24-hour clubs because they're all there.
Yeah, Joe.
After the bars close. And that's where all the musicians are, too, because we're all getting off work then. So
Sure.
it's really all the entertainers in town are out at the 24-hour bars.
There
It
you
was
go.
a lot of fun. Joey, boy, you missed a lot of fun up
Well,
there.
I appreciate the tip. Thank you, Red Tide.
Roll Tide, go Trump. Thank you, guys.
See you, buddy.
Yeah, I just think back. Well, that was 2015 into 2016. It was just sad. It was so sad.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all right. Looking back in hindsight, I kind of look back like, look at this sad dope.
If you're ever going to see any rainbows,
The
got a little
stupid
stand in
stuff
the
I
rain,
thought
buddy.
would make me feel better.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It happens. Going to happen again. You'll be all right.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
John A.
Hey, John.
Hey, I just wanted to bring up the point I don't think a lot of people know. Servers only make about $2 an hour.
Right.
And I didn't know that, being a fairly new resident here in the state, that they only get $2 an hour, so they live on those tips.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if we don't, obviously you're not going to tip if you don't get good service, but like Eddie said too, cash is king on the tips for sure.
Yep. That way the government don't know. They don't need to know. either.
Amen. Amen. Well, appreciate what you guys do. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, John.
And I love hearing that. Just moved to town.
Mm-hmm.
This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro, well, they can help you out with that HVAC system.
Yep.
Especially if your AC has been rattling around.
Might be time to think about a new one, Joey.
Yeah. It shouldn't be making that sound.
Nope.
Or maybe you're like, I have it on, but I don't feel any air.
Oh, that's not a good feeling.
It's really
Especially
bad.
the dog days of summer.
Yeah, and of course, All Pro has your back, helping you out with that AC. Whether you're just looking for a basic checkup or it's maybe time to upgrade to get a whole new unit.
Yep.
It's possible if the home is getting a little older that it's time. But of course, they have financing options with approved credit. And then not only can they help you with the HVAC system, they have the ability to check your electrical system
That's
out
right.
across the board, but also install a Generac generator, which not only is great for keeping the power on when storms roll through or something comes up, and everybody and their brother loses power, you won't.
Right.
Maybe you're relying on power for work or medical devices. It's crucial you keep the lights on. Well, also a Generac generator adds a bunch of value
adds
to a
value
home,
to your house.
like a 5% bump.
At least, yep.
So check out All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical today. Again, financing available with approved credit. Whether you're looking for HVAC needs or electrical needs, they can help you out. You can always go to allproheatingair.com. That's allproheatingair.com, or give them a call at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Dave, Joey. Hadn't talked to you in a while. How you been?
I'm all right. How you doing, Dave?
Oh, taking care of some sick folks, and I'm a trustee with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and I tell you what, when they get to be 80 and they get dementia, they are a mess. If you never messed with them, don't volunteer, but I did. Anyhow, it's just I could write books on what I've seen in the last 6 months.
You're doing God's work in that regard. Real quick story. They used to do a thing when I was at Catholic, where as a senior, you'd go to an assisted living home.
Good idea.
And you'd be paired with some seniors. There was this one guy that you'd only see in the group setting that would never react to anything. And he had to be in his 80s. He clearly had dementia, Alzheimer's, and he never reacted to anything. The one time we got him to react is when one of my friends hit the other one in the back of the leg with a putter. And he just started chortling like it made his day. And we're like, okay, let's do the Three Stooges
Physical
act.
comedy.
He loves that.
Yeah. Well, it is amazing. It's they go into twilight zone, if you want to call it that. But anyhow, I did run 3 Golden Corrals in 3 states, and back in the 80s, it was $2.01 an hour.
$2.01.
Matter of fact, I ran the one in Auburn in '86 when the lady astronaut blew up, took off and blew up. And I remember that. And so $2.01 an hour then. Today, with any, it's sad, I'm telling you this. How many years is that? 30 years?
Yeah.
No, it's more than that. 30-something years. It's $2.13 an hour, guys.
Wow.
If that don't make your butt suck a lemon, I tell you what, man. I mean, most women are divorced.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a husband. They got kids. I mean, they came to me crying sometime, man.
Oh, yeah.
'cause I managed 3 of those Golden Corrals, and there's probably people listening that knows me now because I've told folks about that. I was working 100 hours a week, and those people back then was paying me $55. I found out when I quit. Came to Montgomery in '86.
Oh, man.
Wow. I mean, and I see people still leaving $1, $1.25. And I ask some of the people, but they don't care. I've asked people, can you make a living out of $2.13 an hour? And they just walk off like I'm on drugs or something.
Yep.
But don't worry, Jody, I got off last week. Bad joke.
Well,
hey, you have a great day. God bless y'all, and tip the girls and guys if they really deserve it. But I don't know, man. It's kind of pitiful, but you can't fix stupid, can you?
Nope.
No, you can't. Great hearing from you, man.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joe, it's Josh.
Hey, Josh. How are you?
Hey, fair to middling. How we doing today?
Yeah, about the same. I'm sore.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to chime in, being in the restaurant business and all that. Like a gentleman just explained that they're getting the federal minimum wage at $2.13 an hour. And especially with these local places in Montgomery, you're not having the high volume you ever say like at the beach or whatnot. Some of the waitresses would make, $400 to $600 a night on a very good evening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got people that want to shortchange everything for entitlement. It bothers the mess out of it. People need to be able to understand that they're serving you, and that's how they're making their living. So,
well, and for a little while there, because I get off at 3 most days and don't stay later here at work. I enjoyed going to restaurants and getting to know people and sort of those non-busy hours.
Oh, yeah.
You actually get to know the types of folks that are working those jobs, and everything people have been saying in the calls, it's just very true. A lot of single moms, a lot of college kids, a lot of people just trying to make do. And then occasionally the one guy who's been there is now the manager.
He's a lifer.
But, these are hardworking folks. If you've ever... I could do a kitchen all day, every day. I know the kitchen's no cakewalk either.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do the kitchen than have to do the service job. I don't think I could. I don't have the patience.
Yeah. No, guys, like I said, everybody just needs to appreciate these people. They're trying to get by getting by.
Right.
So please help them out.
Well, I appreciate the call, Josh.
All right.
Thank you, Josh.
All right, guys.
See you, brother.
Got to hit this quick break. Y'all hold your horses on the line, and if you want to join in, 272-9228.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. Through 7 months of 2024, over 2,900 homes have sold and closed in the River region. The average price was $260,000, and 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less. Since mortgage rates have dropped over a point, buyers can save thousands of dollars in payments of what it would have been just 8 weeks ago. The supply of homes has increased, giving buyers more choices than they've had all year. To identify your next home, focus on what's important to you as features that will make the move worthwhile. By getting pre-approved with a local lender, hiring the best home inspector, and most importantly, hiring an experienced buyer agent will make it all go smoothly. For a list of 17 essential buyer agent services and a list of the best lenders and local inspectors, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
We are enjoying a nice break from humidity and some pleasantly cool nights. An August rarity, really. Sunshine warm today with a high around 93, but tolerable humidity. Clear skies, pleasantly cool tonight. Overnight low temperature in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 90s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Abundant sunshine each day. Nice nights. And back to the mid-90s on Sunday, but still dry. Rain prospects not good for the next several days. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with help from Capital Tractor. Wet Bobo here. Don't miss our Buy a Mower, Get a Blower sale going on now. Buy any Kubota mower on our lot and get a Stihl handheld blower absolutely free. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. He's Eddie.
What's up, Joe?
And, well, we're going to go to Boomer T in a second. But first, the comment section rolling in.
Oh, boy.
It's from Romex Angler. Eddie, you ever been tricked into going to the Blue Oyster Bar?
Nope.
When's that? What's
You
that
ever seen
trick?
Police Academy?
Oh, it's been a while. I don't remember it. Okay. Is it like a...
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like Tim Walls goes there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Romex also says, also tip the bartender, especially if they're beautiful and have brown curly hair.
Oh, I do love the one he's talking about.
Mhm.
She's one of my faves.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's solid.
Gotta love a lovely, just good-looking bartender.
Yeah.
Who listens to your problems.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
Gives you advice.
Yeah.
Give you a
But it's
ride
kind of
home
like
once in a while.
you're happy to be in the friend zone with that one person too. Like there's no expectation.
Nothing.
Yeah. I like that.
But also sometimes she's like a good wingman, too.
All right. Exactly.
Bartenders are cool. They can help you out.
Let's go to Boomer T. Hey, Boomer T, how you doing?
What's good, man? How y'all doing this
Hi.
afternoon? You know, I was in the little barbecue business for, I don't know, 27 years.
Something like that.
Something like that. And what made me so successful was my employees was number one spot. I mean, first off, if you were a waitress, you made $5 an hour. That's no lie. If you worked in that kitchen back there, you made $10 an hour. And that was years ago. I've been retired now 8 years. Look here, if you got a tip, you had sessions. You had a tip. You took care of your own tips. Your tip was your business. You didn't have to split them tips with nobody else.
Right.
The only thing you did was you had bus boys, and if you wanted them tables turned faster, you throw little bus boys back there a little bit.
Tip them out.
And then you don't tip out the kitchen help. You don't tip the dishwasher. You don't do that right there. And for the gentleman that walked in and said, I called a while earlier and said, hey, look here, man. Like he's Johnny Homeboy or somebody, throw $20 bill down there and your food will be there in 5 minutes. Well, let me tell you something, Captain. If you would have put a $20 bill on one of my girls' tables like that, like she was some kind of jumping jack flash, you would have been the last place person to be fed in that restaurant. I promise you. That is the most disgraceful, despicable thing you can do to a server is put money on a table like you, Johnny High Dollar, and sit right there. That's the most disgraceful thing you can do to a waitress or a waiter. The best thing you do is when you get ready to pay your tab, Jackson, you throw them the cheese in the hand. Never give a tip on a card. Nobody ever would. Now, I'm done with that subject. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I watched a little bit of that thing last night. Michelle Obama got me a little fired up, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't appreciate the little racist comment about the little black thing, black job. Now, that's not right now. See, this is going to happen, people. If you keep listening to what they're saying, they want to eliminate children. They want your children to be freaking frack. They don't want nobody else to have no more children. People, you need to wake up. This is serious business, y'all. This ain't no joke. I mean, what's going to happen in November is going to think about this. Now, I'm going to say this. What you're seeing today with these fruity kids with all the hair and 4,000 tattoos and all that crazy stuff,
Yeah.
that's the generation, buddy, that, you know what, Mom and Dad? It's your fault. It's your fault, Mom and Dad. You know what? Your mom and dad wants to be, I want Susan to be my best friend. I want Billy Bob to be my best friend. You know what? Your kids ain't your best friend. They're your kids. You love them. They love you. And that's what's happened to this country is mom and dad have let Billy Bob and little Susan run the show. And now the people that are running the show today at their homes, that is your next leaders, not in 20 years from now. Could you imagine what the heck's going to be in the government? Because think about it, what you're putting on the street today, mom and dads, you are responsible for this. You need to get a grip on life, and you need to get a grip on America. Because it ain't all fun and games, baby. It's getting ready to get down to the nut-cutting time. Either you're going to be a strong survivor or you're going to be a weak person. And I tell you what, this country was raised and brought up by nothing but strong American patriots that love this country. So, folks, get out there and do the right thing. Just stick together, because let me tell you something, man. It's going to be some of the next craziest thing you ever seen in your life, folks. I'm 62 years old. I was 8 years old. My daddy went to Vietnam. I would become the man of the house at 8 years old, Jack. I helped my mama raise 2 brothers, and so let me tell you, so I know what hard times are going to get to. So, guys, y'all just hold on. But God dang it, man, just get out there and stop making everything so damn racist. God bless y'all. God bless America. See you when I see you.
Appreciate it, man. 272-9228. Now, Nicole Shanahan, RFK Jr.'s running mate, doubled down on what she said yesterday. We played yesterday.
Doubled down again?
And I would suggest, if you got the time, the Tom Bellew, or Bellew, whatever his name is, his show he's very insightful. Great show. Like, he talks to all sorts of different types of people and just has always a thoughtful, engaging questions. Okay. Fascinating guy, and he does a great job on that show. And we didn't play the full clip yesterday where she went through all the details of why they have no love for the current establishment Democratic Party, especially given what the Democratic Party has done this cycle.
That's what I
to go after.
Had everything to do with the way they're going after him, and then the way they just took Biden out, put Kamala in.
Right. So you're seeing folks who, again, there is populism on the left. There are a lot of people that are politically homeless.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, millions of Americans who are politically homeless, that don't like what was done maybe to Ron Paul over the years, what was done to Bernie Sanders over the years.
Yeah, that's another one, yeah.
And maybe they're not really warm to Trump, so they're going with somebody like RFK Jr. Again, it is baffling to me that, say, like Joe Rogan is a right-winger now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that baffling because anything that's not left is right.
Right.
So, and whatever left is whatever the party says it is in the moment, in the present.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think about all these politically homeless folks who are kind of thinking about RFK Jr., maybe think about the Libertarians or the Greens or whatnot.
Yeah.
I guess some will go with the funky Professor Cornel West.
They will.
But I think if there is an alliance in the works, if Trump can essentially promise a cabinet position, a big spot for, say, RFK Jr. to take on the national health, like get better outcomes for everyday Americans, take on big pharma, I think that could be a big win. And Nicole Shanahan, it wasn't just her talking on that one podcast. She then went on Fox News, I believe, last night.
Yep.
And doubled down on that. Let's listen in.
Came into this supporting him wholeheartedly to win this election. And I have to say there's only one party that has obstructed fair a fair election for us. And unfortunately, it was the Democratic Party. They've done everything they can, including creating PACs, to prevent us from being able to have ballot access.
Yeah, it's interesting because you were saying that you could stay in and run the risk of Kamala Harris win, or you could walk and you could join forces with Donald Trump. When you say join forces, Nicole, what do you mean specifically?
Well, this idea of a unity party, an idea of us coming around these principles of fighting for liberty in this country, fighting for our children's health. We have the worst chronic health crisis in the world right now. Over 50% of children are diagnosed with some chronic disease. This is unconscionable. Yeah. And we are willing to work with anyone who is sincere in their endeavor to fix and address this issue.
Do you believe the Trump campaign and Trump himself is sincere? Do you see a home? You talk about this as being Bobby's decision. Do you see a home for RFK Jr. in the Trump administration, Health and Human Services, something to that extent?
I would fully support it. I would fully support a strong partnership dedicated to this issue. A lot of people comment that in his first term he didn't accomplish many of the things that mothers really were hoping he would do. Made some big mistakes around the pandemic. However, I think that he is sincere.
Yeah,
I do.
Again, that's them talking about Trump. And get this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will address the nation live on Friday in Phoenix, Arizona, about his quote-unquote path forward.
Interesting.
Donald Trump will also be in Phoenix this Friday.
Very interesting, Joe.
Where he's holding a rally. RFK Jr.'s website says, quote, independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will address the nation live on Friday about the present historical moment and his path forward.
Maybe they've struck a deal.
It makes a lot of sense. And, we know a lot of people that straddle different worlds. And what I find fascinating is there is this growing, burgeoning movement of people that don't fit into the traditional Republican Democrat boxes.
Correct.
And that the agreement is largely around, we're tired of y'all, the establishment. We're tired of the donor class. We're tired of the corporate press. We're tired of academics that are bought and paid for.
Mm-hmm.
We're tired of the wars. We're tired of Americans being so sick without any real clear reason for it. Tired of it. We're tired of the incompetence. And there's going to be different ideas on how to tackle that.
Oh, sure.
That's what makes what Nicole Shanahan was talking about, a unity party, so difficult. Because you are talking about old liberals and libertarians and I'm sure even folks that would call themselves socialists, and you're talking about conservatives and populists.
But
And
there's common ground there. There's common ground.
So we'll see. But for a long time, Eddie, I've been saying for years now, I would love to see a new coalition in Washington, not the traditional definition of moderate, which is what, big welfare, big warfare state, but a new coalition of folks that realize the house that is America needs a massive renovation on many fronts.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can direct that energy, if Trump has the grace behind the scenes to accomplish that and pull people like this together with him, I think that could be a heck of a force going into November.
Well, you're not going to get it from her administration. You're just going to get more of what we've got.
Right.
Actually, probably a little bit worse, but yeah.
This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and her team are ready to help you with, buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're a first-time home buyer, they can walk you through that process from pre-approval.
Yep.
Which essentially shows you how much you can afford.
How much you can afford, and it lets the sellers know that you are a serious buyer.
Right. They could be financed for that much. And who did Alabama Home Mortgage?
That's right.
Saying,
so they knew.
Yeah. It really is a great way to start with the home buying process. Is just call Kim and Madeline today. And from pre-approval all the way to closing day, they're going to be walking with you, helping you through that process. And of course, they can also help you with a great refinance deal. If you're looking to refi to get credit card debt off your back or other sorts of debt, or maybe you're looking to reinvest in yourself, your family, your kids, the property itself, they can help you with all of those goals there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So call them today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web, apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies, like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing
Linder. He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The summer is winding down, but the sales at Larry Puckett Chevrolet are not. If you have a child headed off to college and they need a good, reliable vehicle that will not have you worrying if they can make it to school, shop Larry Puckett. They have a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles that won't wear out your checkbook. New and pre-owned, Larry Puckett's inventory is as big as anyone's in the area. College football season is upon us, and if you don't trust your car to get you to the games, shop Larry Puckett. If you have an extra vehicle that you want to sell, take it to Larry Puckett and allow them to give you a cash offer. New vehicles are arriving daily. Call 285-9300. See if the one you're looking for is on the way. You'll love everything about Larry Puckett Chevrolet: the prices, the selection, the service, the financing, and you'll love your buying experience. For as long as I can remember, Larry Puckett's customers have been doing the talking. Larry Puckett Chevrolet on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. Before you stop by, you can shop them online at larrypuckett.com.
Hey, Biscuits fans, if you haven't already, you need to check out the Max Credit Union Family Pack we offer here at Riverwalk Stadium. As we celebrate 20 years of Biscuits, this pack includes 4 box seats, 4 combo meals, and 4 wristbands to the Fun Zone at just $20 a ticket. And you can access this deal for any home game. Bring out your family and friends to Riverwalk Stadium with the Max Credit Union Family Pack. For more information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL. Butter up.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. It's that time to go to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are y'all?
We're doing all right. We were talking about tipping all day on the show. Like, what's the proper way to go about tipping?
Tipping?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, typically if they give good service, I'm at 20 plus.
There you go.
Yeah. And if they're not, I'm probably not as low as I should be. I like the thing that they did on TV when John Lithgow was on 30 Rock or something. He must have taken a bunch of ones to the restaurant and put them down on the table and said, "This is your tip. When you do something that pleases me, I will add to this stack. If you do something that displeases me, I will take away."
There you
go. I thought that was pretty transparent. Everybody knew where everybody stood.
Yeah, clear lines there. Now, how's it going at Cohen's today?
It's going great. So, I've got a 65-inch Sony TV. I just Googled it. Looks like everybody's selling it for $799.
Okay.
Well, some people have it for $768, which I think is an open box or something.
Yeah.
But everybody's at $799. My inventory says that I have 3 of those. And I'd like to offer them to your people for $599.
Oh, wow. So Sony 65-inch television for $599.
It's 4K. It's smart. It's LED. You can hang it on the wall. You have to buy a bracket, but you can hang it on the wall. It comes with feet so that you can put it on your cabinet. It's got HDMI input, so you can hook up your DVD player if you have one, your cable box if you have one. It's got the apps built in so that you can stream. You can also hook up your Apple TV to it, your Roku, a Fire Stick if you wanted. But it gives you a lot of capabilities.
Wow.
And $599. It's made by Sony. It's a great unit and one heck of a price.
That is an amazing price. So what do folks need to say to get that discount?
They need to talk about Joey and Eddie.
In a good way.
In a good way, because that's the only way you could talk about those two. And just come see us and see me or Mark or Chris, and we'll be happy to load you up, and or either we can schedule Michael Jacks to come out and do the install.
That's a great deal.
So, folks, you heard him. He's only got 3 of these. But if you want this amazing deal, get by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays.
Yes, sir.
And, to get that discount, say, hey, I heard Michael on with Joey and Eddie.
Yeah.
Yep. Just come see us, and we'll take care of you.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank y'all. Take care.
See you, man.
Final hour coming up. Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Donald Trump and running mate J.D. Vance speaking today at a huge rally in Asheboro, North Carolina. For Mr. Trump, today marks his first outdoor appearance since the assassination attempt last month in Pennsylvania. Day 3 of the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. On tap tonight, speeches by Bill Clinton and Tim Walz. Major setback for the Democrats. The government says between April of 2023 and March of this year, the U.S. economy added 818,000 fewer jobs than were originally reported. Spokesman says the numbers are evidence the job market has been steadily falling. A 2-year-old boy has been struck by a boardwalk tram and killed in Maryland. Authorities continued the investigation. This is SRN News.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion collectively. What happens when most people can't pay their bills? Well, the U.S. economy is clearly moving into uncertain territory. That's why more Christians are turning to gold just for their peace of mind. I'm Lance Wallnow, Christian news analyst with a 30-year track record of predicting trends. The Bible tells us that gold is a time-tested store of value that can protect your God-given assets through almost anything, including America's historic debt bubble. And here's the good news. You can own gold through your 401k or IRA. My friends at Birch Gold Group can help you buy gold for your retirement account, tax-free and penalty-free. To learn more, text the word FAITH to 989898 for an info kit from Birch Gold that's entirely free. Zero cost or obligation. Text that next step right now and take it. Text FAITH to the number 989898 for your free info kit. That's FAITH to 989898.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather. We are enjoying a nice break from humidity and some pleasantly cool nights. An August rarity, really. Sunshine warm today with a high around 93, but tolerable humidity. Clear skies, pleasantly cool tonight. Overnight low temperature in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 90s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Abundant sunshine each day. Nice nights. And back to the mid-90s on Sunday, but still dry. Rain prospects not good for the next several days. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
We're redesigning financial freedom at CB&S Bank. Make purchases at participating stores and restaurants using your CB&S Bank debit card through your mobile devices with Mobile Wallet. Charges and fees may apply for your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for more information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen releases a statement this week after receiving a letter threatening legal action against the state for seeking to purge non-citizen names from the voter rolls here in Alabama. Allen says that he will not be backing down from this effort to have registrars in all 67 counties utilize information about the non-citizens in order to take their names from the rolls. Allen is using the non-citizen identification number given out by the Department of Homeland Security to identify those who have registered to vote within U.S. elections who are not eligible to do so. The groups that are threatening legal action include the ACLU of Alabama, Campaign Legal Center, Alabama Coalition for Immigrant Justice, Alabama League of Women Voters, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and several others. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A traffic stop in Priceville results in 3 arrests and the seizure of illegal drugs. The vehicle was pulled over on Interstate 65 for a minor traffic violation when the police officer spotted signs of criminal activity within that car, and that's when the fentanyl and marijuana was discovered. The mayor of Tarrant, Wayman Newton, is battling efforts from residents to have him impeached and removed from office. A civil lawsuit was filed against the mayor by 5 people who allege that Newton has committed crimes while in office. Newton claims it's a smear campaign against him and a frivolous lawsuit. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month, when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
What the hell are we doing here?
We are behaving the way a superpower ought to behave.
Well, our behavior has produced some crappy results.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader's still in the studio with me.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. And both you and I know it was the talk of the town for those of us in the, I guess the Trump, we're us maggots, us Trump people.
Oh, I know we're maggots. Okay.
I love that, like, we're not Trump enough for some Trump people.
Oh, that's going to happen, yeah.
And then, like, we're obviously Trump people to other folks.
Yeah.
Right.
To Trump.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's no pleasing people.
That's people.
Yeah.
That's people, Joey.
Yeah. But the talk of the, say, podcast world was, of all people, Theo Vaughn interviewed Donald John Trump. Theo Vaughn, the comedian. We've seen him here in Montgomery.
We've seen him live, yeah. Enjoyed his show.
We saw him at Impact. It was great.
Yeah. Not someone I ever thought would be interviewing any form of president, Joey.
Right. And, well, here's the part that's really gone viral.
Okay.
And I love that Theo Vaughn, it doesn't matter that he's talking to a president. He's himself.
It doesn't matter.
He's just an open book.
He's Theo.
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just, yeah.
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it was, yeah.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it, too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger
oh, yeah.
up?
Yeah. Cocaine
so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie, you know what I'm saying? You'll be You'll be out on your own porch, and you'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking.
And is that a good feeling? Well,
No,
it's
horrible.
a miserable feeling.
But you do it anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the scotch.
Because the whole first 20 minutes is actually Theo talking about his own recovery and Trump talking about his brother Frank.
They really bought it. Better
Pretty
over that than I
touching,
thought,
actually.
yeah.
But then, Theo's just started opening
Theo's
up about the
being Theo.
cocaine. And I'm like, that just
Make you an owl on your
turns
front
into a
porch.
damn owl, homie. I don't know if anybody was ever planning on that being said to Trump.
Well, it's funny. A couple times in the interview, he does call him Donald, then apologizes, then calls him Donald again.
Yeah, he's it's just being Theo. Like, he kind of can't help being himself, which is weird self, but he's freaking hilarious.
He is. He's
And
true
I think
to himself,
a pretty good
man.
dude at the end of the day,
Yeah.
too. Pretty thoughtful dude.
But I would have never guessed in a million years that would be on the bingo card.
Well, because Theo said he wants to also interview Kamala.
Yeah, well, he did do, what's his name the other day? Barry?
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, Bernie
Yeah, it was
Sanders.
on with Theo.
Yeah.
But this is the portion where Theo's talking to Trump about, I'd love to have Kamala.
And she has no clue. And you know what I say about her? Why don't you do it? She complains about everything. She's been there for 3.5 years. Why don't you do it? All you have to do is say, why don't you do it? Why didn't you fix it? You could fix it right now. Don't, do whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And she won't talk to you, and she won't talk to anybody. She won't be interviewed.
She's welcome to come on. I would love to get to talk to her.
I'm sure she'd be very exciting. Actually, you could make her exciting, probably.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody said she's a good roller skater. That's what I heard, which is crazy.
That's about it.
Where's that come from? Where's that come from?
I love just how quick on the draw Trump is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody said she's a good roller skater. That's what I heard, which is crazy.
That's about it.
And the hope is like he's doing the true podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe he's reaching folks who never would have seen Donald Trump in a setting like that.
Oh, 100%.
Casual, relaxed.
Well, just like Jordan Peterson. How many people were introduced to Jordan Peterson from Theo Vaughn?
Right. Well, and one thing I loved about the Theo Vaughn interview is he was bringing up a lot of the big issues. Theo's more of an RFK Jr. guy.
Yes, 100. Yeah,
he says in an interview, me and Bobby are friends.
Yep.
Like they've gone and done
And he
outdoors
pushes
and
Trump
stuff
on a couple of the issues.
on Big Pharma in
Yep.
particular. And this is, again, the sort of potential alliance that might be out there. But it's just fascinating with the RFK Jr. conversation about dropping out, supporting Trump going on, that Trump sits down with a podcaster that is intimate friends with RFK Jr. You're starting to see, well, there's a lot in common here.
Yep.
We'll see. And it looks like Trump is definitely listening to his sons more, saying the biggest fan for Theo was Barron. Which is like, so it's
Still
interesting.
funny.
I will say Trump does look old. He does look tired too.
Yeah.
I mean, folks are going to take that as like an insult, and no, he's looking better than ever. It's like, no, let's just be honest.
Actually, yeah. He's showing his age, and you can't blame him, and sure not damn him for that.
Right. Now, also in the news, last night, I guess Florida's primaries were really late in the year. Matt Gaetz was victorious.
Yes, he was, Joey.
And that was in spite of Kevin McCarthy trying to spend all sorts of millions of dollars
Cut a big old check, didn't he?
to try to take out Matt Gaetz. And so here's Matt Gaetz graciously.
Graciously.
Yeah, I think the word here is graciously. Matt Gaetz is speaking after his victory, and he just found it appropriate to mention good old Kevin McCarthy. Take it away, Matt.
It's traditional in moments like these, with margins of victory like this, that you hear from your opponents. And I have not yet heard from Aaron Dimmick or Kevin McCarthy this evening. Kevin McCarthy spent $3 million in this race, not attacking my votes or my work on your behalf, but just simply trying to attack my character. $3 million. Wow. 2 years ago, I got 70% of the vote. And tonight, it looks like we're getting 73% of the vote.
Nice. So McCarthy spends $3 million to try to unseat him, really attacking Gaetz in personal ways, and Gaetz ups his re-election numbers.
By the way, that's a good look for Gaetz. He looks
The shorts?
Yeah, he looks less Count Dracula-like.
Yeah, he looks a little more like Florida man.
Like normal, yeah.
Like normal panhandle Florida man.
Yes.
In that, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, and he is true you were wondering, like, where the heck did Matt Gaetz come from? I mean, there's a lot with his dad being a powerful player in Florida. But Matt Gaetz is the redneck Riviera.
Oh.
I mean, he is. He represents the Panhandle.
Well, that's true now. He does represent them. But I haven't seen much of the redneck from him.
No, he personally isn't necessarily, but he represents.
He loves his rednecks.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, just that culture down there, that coastal culture.
Yeah.
Like, he is that through and through. It's very, Florida, Alabama start to blur right around
there,
those lines, too. Like, it's all
Florida,
the same
Alabama,
type
Georgia,
of person.
yeah.
Like, Florida man, coastal Alabama man's about
Same guy.
the same thing.
They're cousins, that's for sure.
Yeah, they are. But I thought, okay, cool. Matt Gaetz holding his position.
Yeah.
And all of this.
That's good, too.
Now, there is one guy they keep bringing on CNN to be sort of the House Republican.
Oh?
To be the potted plant, but he keeps speaking up more than I think some might appreciate.
Oh, then he won't be there long.
No, it's good TV to have this sort of argument. So, well, let's just listen in.
These speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. And for all of the talk about division and the problems in the country and people are hurting, Democrats have mostly controlled this country. Trump had it for 4. The Obamas and Biden had it for the rest of the time. And somehow, it's still all Trump's fault, and somehow she hasn't been at the center of it. So to me, that's still the glaring hole in this campaign that hasn't yet been solved at the convention. How do you explain all of the problems that will be solved by the person who is currently in there for the last 3.5 years, who is supposed to already be working on solving it? But in all these speeches,
I mean, I think that's the argument that you got to make.
Yeah, well, they act like she's going to have a fresh start, like she's brand new.
Well,
she's been there.
And I would add to that, he says 12 of the last 16 years went to the Democrats.
Yep.
I would add to that, if you just count the 21st century, 8 of the 24 years also went to the Bush GOP.
Mm-hmm.
That is, they hate Trump. In fact, many of them have now become Democrats. Nicole Wallace, Bill Kristol, Liz Cheney. So you're talking about that group. Those are your allies. The Bush Republicans are now the allies of the Democratic Party in many ways, especially on more and more war.
Yep. Does not surprise me.
And I think it's a fantastic point. You had the Bush Republicans run things for 8 years. You had this new Democratic Party, essentially Barack Obama's Democratic Party, running it for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Trump gets 4, and somehow it's all Trump's fault. The problems we've had for now a generation.
Well, to me, it shows you party doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're the same people. They're either party or both out to screw you and me.
Yeah. And it was the loudmouth from Queens who continues to upset that party. And by the way, you know, Trump speaking first outdoor event today in Asheboro, North Carolina. And, you know, they've got the bulletproof glass up around him now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But apparently he stopped his speech, mid-speech, because somebody passed out in the front row.
Ooh.
And he walked down there and went and checked on him personally.
Good deal.
And I'm sure the Secret Service loved that, like leaving the box. But, no, that doesn't look, I was worried it was going to look pretty bad.
No,
it's not too bad. It's still not
a little
great.
over the top, but it's not too bad.
Well, he was literally just shot, unless you're ChatGPT. And
it happened a couple weeks ago. Let it go, dude.
Right. Yeah, just let it go.
I mean, essentially, that's what we're being told.
Yep.
It wasn't that big a deal. It barely scratched him. Let it go.
So what do you think about this tonight? Like, why did you do the Obamas last night? Because you're doing Bill Clinton and Tim Walz.
I would have
tonight?
thought they would have waited Obama towards the end to bring that whole identity politics together in one big shabah.
See, I would have had Obama introduce Kamala. Though that might have outshined her.
Well, he outshines Biden every time he's around Biden.
True.
There's no doubt about that.
No, he's the guy who's created the new Democratic Party.
Yep.
No doubt in that regard. I did get the sense he looked older last night.
Yeah.
He's still got his X factor, the aura around him and how he carries himself. But
charisma, baby.
It also came across more like you're playing the greatest hits. And who doesn't love to go to see their favorite band play the greatest hit? I mean, you like that band? You were there when that band first came on the scene. They're coming back to town 20 years later? Yeah, sure. Well, it makes me real happy to hear those greatest
It's
hits.
great for one night.
But then you realize, well, there are new bands coming
Yeah.
up, and they sound very different.
Yep.
Despite being like, well, I'm in the tradition of.
I love me some Billy Ocean, but there's much newer music out there.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Billy Ocean? Really?
Hey, TJ.
Hey, how
What's
you
up,
doing?
man?
All right, man. I just wanted to add to that. The Republicans have controlled the House and the Senate the majority of the time since Clinton's been in office. So just wanted to throw that out there too.
I'm trying to think it through because Republicans pretty much hold it in the early 2000s with Bush, right?
You get them both.
And then the Democrats after 04 take more of the Congress, but Bush holds on. Then Obama gets in there, and I guess there's a slim Republican hold on the House. Because they had, at one point, they had a lot of votes in that wave election in 08. But, I mean, and we can continue to look at this through the party lens, but I'd more look at it as the established entrenched interests that are represented in both parties have kind of run the show. And even when Trump was in there, they continued to want to run the show.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, bud.
Yeah, it's a mess, is what it is. It's an absolute mess. And folks, these people are in power because they are that good at what they do. And a lot of people buy into their thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I would hope, can't we just go a different route than this? Tired of the Bushes. With all due respect, I'm tired of the Obamas. I'm tired of the Clintons. Tired of it.
Joey, I'm tired of them all. It doesn't seem like who's in there. I'm getting screwed every time.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see. These people are asking us off air, like, what are the odds? Yeah, it's a coin flip. But you're a little more hopeful, I think.
I am just, and part of that's just me, but people that I've talked to that were anti-Trumpers and identity politics again. A lot of people vote with that, but they've come around and this time they're voting with their pocketbooks and their wallets. And they're realizing, hey, a lot of these things that I was sold on years ago, they never came to fruition.
Yeah.
They're still making those same promises.
Yep.
So, and again, not just for Trump, but I'm glad that Trump has woke so many people up to the fact that, hey, who you think your politicians are not really who they say they are. Made people open their eyes up. Now, when you look at the price of gas, you don't just go, oh, gas went up. You usually go, gas went up, and you know why. What just happened in the Middle East? What just happened in Israel? You usually know exactly what happened. More people than ever before.
So, we always get that qualifier that I stole from Christopher Hitchens, the polls condition the polls.
Yes, and it's true.
And we have more polls than ever before from all sorts of different folks. But here's a write-up.
Okay.
This is in Just the News. It says, Vice President Kamala Harris has enjoyed a noticeable surge in the polls, particularly national polls, since becoming the Democratic standard bearer. But the rapid shift in her position has left some industry analysts questioning the apparent boost in the formerly quite unpopular vice president's standing. It really is remarkable. Somebody showed a chart of how quickly her approval ratings have changed.
Yeah.
And they captioned it with, look how powerful propaganda is. All of a sudden, she's the next new thing, savior. We thought we were going to go with Old Man Joe, and everybody runs in and enjoys the party. In her 2020 run, Harris struggled to break 3% before dropping out, according to The Hill. Prior to becoming the Democratic nominee, Harris suffered from decidedly poor approval ratings, and Trump initially held the lead over her in a head-to-head matchup. The average quickly flipped, however, in the wake of several surveys showing Harris ahead. Those surveys, however, have attracted scrutiny from an array of pollsters, either due to their lack of transparency about the sampling methodology or from oversampling Democrats. So what they're doing is they're polling fewer Republicans. They're polling a disproportionate number of Biden 2020 voters in these states that were dead even. Pollster John McLaughlin said this week on Just the News, No Noise, this TV show that's out there. Man, everybody's got a show now.
Yeah.
They're saying the Biden 2020 voters should be 4 or 5 points higher. It's ridiculous, says John McLaughlin. So what they're doing is trying to pump Harris up. They're trying to suppress our vote. And this is, they're smart people doing this, so I think it's intentional. Harris currently leads Trump by 1.5% margin of error, Real Clear Politics polling average, with 48.2% support to his 46.7%. She leads by the same margin in a five-way race, including with the Green Party's Jill Stein and Independents Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Professor of Philosophy and Christian Practice at Union Theological Seminary, Cornell West. It's a heck of a title. Just call him doctor.
Yeah.
At present, the only polls showing Trump ahead in the two-way race average come from Fox News, Rasmussen, and CNBC. All others show Harris with a 1 to 4 point lead. Trump led Harris in the Real Clear Politics average until August the 5th and has not reclaimed the lead since. Neither Real Clear Politics average includes survey data from, say, McLaughlin and Associates. But, of course, there's this honeymoon effect, and I'm wondering, do they get the bump? It's what Senator Britt was saying yesterday. Traditionally, you get a bump afterwards, and that's probably a good bet. But I got to wonder, again, we keep defying expectations with our current media environment. And I think there are a lot of folks that always vote Democrat who are very, very excited.
Yep.
But, again, when you look at the politically homeless, when you look at independents, I think it's anybody's game.
When you look at blue collar people, period.
Wait, Tim Walz doesn't speak to them?
Not at all. Not at all.
But he's folksy.
So is folk music, but it ain't the number one thing on the chart, buddy.
Yeah, well, we'll see. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. Now, we've been talking about tipping all day.
Yeah.
What I want y'all to do is get by there to Smokehouse on Main Street in Millbrook and tip them well, because the service is going to be good and the food's going to be good.
Outrageously.
And tell them that Joey and Eddie from the radio sent you. And this could be for, say, a nighttime get-together, having a little late lunch or dinner. Maybe on Friday night, sticking around for some live entertainment.
Live entertainment, that's right.
But, of course, they're also a destination for breakfast. And, man, is it good.
I'm ready to go again, buddy. Ooh, I could use a good breakfast.
Tomorrow?
I think I could knock out the Fat Boy.
Tomorrow?
I'm down. I could knock out the Fat Boy challenge.
Well, what time tomorrow?
You're a late guy.
Well, you want to get there early?
When I eat breakfast with you, your breakfast is usually my second breakfast.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. But the point is, Eddie and I both want to go because it's that.
It isn't good.
It's so good. There at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. The breakfast is amazing. They're back to original recipes when it comes to their barbecue.
Yes.
Fixings. It's really, really fantastic stuff. Somebody called the other day, couldn't stop talking about the fried okra.
Yep.
Ooh, good eating. So, again, get by there. You can always check them out on the Book of Faces, just Smokehouse Pit Barbecue on Facebook. But get by there, enjoy the food, tip the waitresses and waiters well, and tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. More news and views in the afternoon after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hello, this is Yasmin Hostin with Beauty and Beyond. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for 10 years plus. If you would like to increase your business, use Blue Water Broadcasting radio stations. They get results.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
We are enjoying a nice break from humidity and some pleasantly cool nights. An August rarity, really. Sunshine warm today with a high around 93, but tolerable humidity. Clear skies, pleasantly cool tonight. Overnight low temperature in the upper 60s. We'll be in the low 90s on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Abundant sunshine each day. Nice nights. And back to the mid-90s on Sunday, but still dry. Rain prospects not good for the next several days. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Skeeter. Hey, Skeeter, how you doing?
I'm tolerable. How about yourself?
Well, I'm all right.
Y'all was talking about polls a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
The only poll I paid attention to was the other night when Donna Limon was doing the man on the street interviews in New Jersey.
Yep.
And everybody was going for Trump, and he couldn't believe it.
He was a little upset by that.
To tell them how they felt.
Yep.
That's the poll I follow. Anywho, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in them polls.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Skeeter.
Y'all have a good and be tolerable.
That's what I'm seeing more and more man on the street interviews. And more people are, for one, being open about who they're going to vote for. I'm used to people just looking at you crazy and walking away because it's none of your business. More and more people on both sides are coming out. They're just letting the world know this is what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's anybody's game.
Although there are a couple. Now, this was funny. There were two last night that said, I'm still voting for Biden. And the man on the street guy goes, you realize he stepped out of the race, right? One lady said, yeah, but the other guy said, yeah, but I'm going to write him in. Not everybody should be able to vote.
Gotta love those folks. In a second, we'll go to Peter saying on, I think Romex Angler is talking about Smokehouse here says, great food in the parking lot always smells good. Yeah, it does.
Oh, it does. You smell it before
Yeah.
you get there, man. Follow your nose.
Hatred Czar chime in saying, have y'all talked about RFK thinking about dropping out and endorsing Trump? Yes, we have. And I think it could be a good
I
team
think
up.
it could be a good thing for both parties.
Yeah, because, again, folks who trust still the corporate media have been taught at this point, or led to believe at this point, trained, brainwashed, hypnotized, whatever word you want to use,
Okay.
that RFK Jr. is just weird.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a weird right-winger. It's like, what do you even... Like, I don't think you know what these words mean, but they've been... He's the guy with the worm in his brain, right?
Yep.
Oh, that bear story was so weird.
I remember his own family came out against him.
Oh, yeah.
Not in a nice way either.
No.
By the way.
So if folks who already are reading the New York Times and watching NBC are like, well, that weirdo, I'll never vote for RFK Jr., then either you're going to get a successful third party, which ain't happening with the lawfare that's gone on to keep him off ballots in many, many states.
Nope.
Or you join forces with the guy who has a strong lead head of the ticket who's willing to, I think, make a deal with you for many things that you want done.
At least at that point, some of your policies get in front of the right person.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're screaming at a wall. Nobody's hearing you.
Right, and I just find that it's more a reflection of where we are in American politics. It's the establishment and everybody else. And I think that would be a great team up.
Yeah.
In many ways. We'll see. Again, both RFK Jr. and Donald John Trump will be in Phoenix on Friday. RFK is going to be giving an address to the nation about his path forward. Again, while Trump is also going to be speaking at a rally in Phoenix that same evening. So you got to wonder what's coming next. Now, let's go to Peter St. Ange.
All right.
This is about millennials and Gen Z just giving up.
I know a few of them.
Just give it up. I can kind of relate to this. It's not like I'm giving up. I'm trying to save money and plan for the future. But there's a part of me that's like, man, let's just let the wheels fall off.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, brother.
So here's Peter St. Ange talking about how young Americans.
Young American.
He was a young American.
Right. Oh, that's good song.
That is a good song. But how young Americans are spiraling. Take it away, Peter.
America's hometown newspaper finally noticed that young Americans are screwed. A few days ago, USA Today wrote an article asking why millennials and Gen Z are, quote, spiraling, partying hard, and blowing their savings. I've mentioned in previous videos how young Americans are doom spending their way to financial oblivion amid low-paying jobs, a half-decade of transitory inflation, and $500,000 for starter homes. USA Today quotes 20-somethings admitting there's no jobs and they can't save money, but they're, quote, just kind of letting the days go by, bouncing from job to job, partying, and kind of acting like everything will work out. As a Washington Post editor puts it, millennials and Gen Z are just, quote, embracing an ethos of chaos. Alas, it is not chaos, it is despair. Recently, the National Association of Colleges reported that starting salaries for new college grads are $68,000. Now, that sounds good, but after Bidenflation, it's actually about 50 in pre-pandemic terms. Moreover, to get that 50, you've got to take on, according to a new study, $300,000 in debt for the average bachelor's degree. That comes to 4.5 years' salary, assuming you don't spend a dime. It's also $30,000 less than college students expected during school, according to CNBC, suggesting colleges are intentionally inflating expectations to sucker them in.
Yep.
Of course, it was a very different world for the boomers chuckling at the chaos. In 1970, starting salaries for college grads, adjusting for inflation, was $83,000. In other words, they are actually down in 55 years. We are going backwards. Meanwhile, college in 1970 cost $1,238 per year. Yes, this was before government got into the student loan game. Adjusting for inflation, that's about 8 times cheaper than today. In other words, in 1970, it cost you a half-year salary for the entire BA. Now it's almost 5 years. Meanwhile, of course, the price of homes, which are the main vehicle for Americans to build their life savings and start a family, have become a joke for the young. According to the Federal Reserve, the median house now costs $412,000, which is 7.5 times that college grad starting wage. It's more like 15 times the average salary of a blue-collar worker. So in 1970, the median home cost $24,000, 2.5 times that starting wage, and closer to 5 times blue-collar wages. So wages are down, college costs 8 times more, and houses cost between 7.5 and 15 times annual slavery. Forget embracing the chaos is embracing them. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. The U.S. Today article helpfully provides a solution: mental counseling, not a joke. Some more useful solutions might include slashing government spending so inflation stops, and there's some money left over for small businesses to create full-time work instead of gig jobs. Lower inflation means lower rates, which means lower housing costs. Meanwhile, getting government out of college loans would bring back prices that are in line with the boomer utopia they broke. We are setting up the next generation to fail. Few of them understand what's even happening. Instead, they vote for media-approved sound bites while partying their way to financial oblivion. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Yeah, it's no fun to party like it's 1999 when it's 2024.
Right.
Kind of defeats the point. It's like, wait, we're still here?
Unless you're in the hot tub time machine.
That's like a movie you wish you could actually live, right?
Yeah.
The 80s? Just go back to the 80s?
Knowing what I know now.
Oh, I'd be dangerous knowing what I know now.
But actually, I'd be fine just to go back. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking all. Good
time. Oh, the 90s, early aughts, not a terrible time. I know, like, again, I graduate from high school in 2007.
Okay.
Right before the bottom falls out of the economy. Yeah, it started to look bleak.
As you see you're saying the bottom fell out of the economy. For a lot of people, that was opportunity.
Sure.
I was one of those.
Yeah.
When the bottom fell out, Eddie had a handful of cash and went, oh,
well, I guess I'll go
believe in myself for once. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you believe in yourself.
Well, I was a little drunk at the time.
Liquid courage.
No,
I'm just looking at images of the DNC from last night.
Freedom. I don't get the freedom. I don't get a lot of their referencing words and things. I don't joy. I don't get the joy. Especially with the abortion and all that stuff they're doing right out in front. And by the way, I've been meaning to ask you, if you're a Democrat, do you automatically believe in abortion on demand? Is that like one of those things? Or are there Democrats that don't believe in abortion that you know of?
There are some that'll do the whole, like, I wouldn't personally do it.
Okay. Well, I didn't know. I really didn't know.
No, I think that issue in particular has become very polarized. I would say that Trump on that issue is actually playing the moderate game. And you're like, oh, of course you're going to say that. No, maybe you should listen to hardcore pro-life people who've been on these airwaves that I'm happy to talk to, that I call friends, who want a national standard. They're clearly, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are running on it, want a national rule for abortion as well. Trump is trying to strike the balance of, why not let people in individual states vote, including states that are going to vote for Trump to be president, are probably, say, like Kansas, maybe Ohio, going to vote for more liberal abortion laws locally. And I'm sitting here going, that's what I want on most things.
Right.
Most things.
Well,
it doesn't have to be one size fits all. Let the states actually be their own thing. Dadgummit.
That's a big thing I think we both agree on, is states' rights.
No, and it would solve so many of the cultural wars. It would solve so much crap that we fight over.
You just said the key thing. It would solve so many culture wars. So how much of this is in there, people that don't want to solve those culture wars? It's in there on purpose.
Well, there are folks who clearly, I think, are true believers on the right and the left of this issue.
But
then there are folks that are the, say, manipulators, operators, that use this stuff
That's the ones I'm talking
to raise a lot of money and not do anything.
Yep, those are the ones I'm talking.
Right. But I think it's not just abortion. So much else should be back to the states.
Oh,
and if you don't like what your state is doing, organize.
You have so
get
many
out there,
options.
and we can hear people constantly complain. Well, politics is local, but nobody's paying attention. It's like because they don't have any power. Because everything's freaking decided in Washington D.C.
And that's
so why should I give a damn about Goat Hill or our city council if most of the important decisions about life and culture and the economy and whatnot are all decided in Washington, D.C., far, far away?
Right.
And you have what? One, maybe two representatives, a senator. If you're lucky, you got two senators you really like. And if you're a Democrat in Alabama, you don't like either of them. No, you like Katie, but then you're like, why do you like Trump so much? Katie? I know you don't really believe that.
Right. You can tell me. You can tell.
That Tuberville, I don't know about him.
Oh, man. They've been coming hard down on the Tubs lately.
Well, Tuberville's been going hard back at him.
Appreciate every bit of that.
He said 2 interviews ago, I wasn't looking for this. He goes, well, Joey, I'm telling you, there's a bunch of Satanists up here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, whoa, that's hardcore.
But is he wrong? I mean, look at the
And
actions.
they've also called him every name in the book, so I think it's kind of fair game.
Well, what does crack me up when it comes to Tuberville, and I hear a lot of people say it, they act like he just found his money when he got there.
Yeah, right.
That kills me.
No, he's made plenty of money.
He's made plenty. He's one of those guys that didn't do it necessarily for the money.
Right. Yeah, there are other ways he can make money.
Yeah, I don't know. Be a national football coach.
I mean, I wish, maybe I'd ask him one day about, did you ever have a desire to go into sports media? Like go work for Fox Sports, go work for CBS,
I
go work for
guarantee the
ESPN?
opportunity was there. That'd be a good conversation.
Because I'd imagine that's a plush gig.
It
you
is.
get to go to football Saturdays still, but it's more relaxed.
Oh, at an executive level.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear that story because I know the opportunity had to be there. I want to know why he turned it down.
By the way, did you see Feinbaum is pissing people off, saying the Saban dynasty, or the dynasty was long over even before Saban left?
Dude,
screw you, Paul.
They're going to struggle.
Wait, you don't have faith in this new coach?
They're going to lose the first one. I don't know if it's the first one, but they're going to lose one on my birthday.
Do you have the schedule in
Yeah,
front of
they're
you?
going to lose Georgia, no doubt. That's
Georgia's
like
the first game?
No, it's fourth game,
Fourth
September 28th. They're going to lose that one.
Who's their first game? Is
Western
it
Kentucky. That'll
Okay,
be a
that's
sleeper. Yeah.
who's the first real game?
That Georgia, I think. I think at
Georgia.
Wisconsin might be a little bit more of a challenge than they're going to be.
Oh,
used to.
Wisconsin's a good team,
right?
yeah.
I think
Always
that
a
could be their
competitive team.
first hit. Now, not to say that Auburn's going
No,
to.
well, I'm not saying we're doing much better.
Although, let's see, I feel good about against Auburn or Alabama A&M. I'm nervous about California and Mexico. I think I'm okay on, and well, then there's Arkansas. I think we're going to take a hit there.
Yeah, Auburn was left. Who's the guy that Hugh Freeze replaced? I've already forgotten.
Why'd you ask me that?
You know what I mean? It's like,
I've
get
had
out of town, man.
The brain fart. Wow.
Yeah. Parson?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It took a while. Like I'd already just removed that man from my hard
remember
drive.
more of his scandal from his past school than his name.
Yeah, and apparently he left Auburn in a rut,
In the
man.
middle of the night.
No, I don't mean he just personally left. He left the situation he left behind.
Yeah.
It was a wasteland.
Dude. But what did he inherit, Joey?
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll be honest, I'm an Auburn guy, but what
Because
did he
when I was there, it was Chiswick.
Yeah.
Auburn wins the national championship. Chiswick gets a big head. And yeah.
That's what happened.
And then Gus came along after that.
And the bus was okay for a little bit, but
everybody figured out his freaking
right.
offense.
Well, we will ride a coach until we keep paying him not to be there anymore.
Anyway, good to know that foosball's right around the corner.
Foosball.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage Mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today. Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Well, how did?
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just, yeah.
That's down and dirty, right?
Yeah, and this is, yeah, this, I mean, it was, yeah.
But you don't anymore?
No, I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing it.
Is it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it, too. I don't know where we were even getting it from in this country, but yeah, it started to make me feel like I was a mechanic or something.
So the thing you go back to then is alcohol for the most part.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger
oh, yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Cocaine so you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? You'll be out on your own porch, you know.
Yeah.
You'll be your own street lamp. You're freaking.
And is that a good feeling? Well,
no.
It's
just so funny. Again, he's talking to the president.
Theo Vaughn and Donald Trump last night. Go look it up. Theo Vaughn, Donald Trump. It's a great conversation.
It is. And it's only maybe hour and 10, 15 minutes. But
wow.
it is like that most of the conversation.
Yeah, Theo is just himself, and it's beautiful. Let's go to Ray Balls from Brattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
That was a good one. I got to say that I've seen that clip, the whole thing. It's great.
It'll turn you into a freaking owl, homie.
Your front porch.
Yeah. But if you ever talk to somebody who's an ex-user, and they talk about that stuff, or somebody's never even touched or scared to death of it, it's pretty funny when they're talking about it. They're like, oh no, you don't touch it. No. You'll repaint the whole house when you come off of it. You're like, where did this paint come from?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. But I can tell you what, that can make you feel as good as cocaine without actually the danger of cocaine is a new floor for Brattville Carpet. How about that?
That's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, I like that.
And we have this incredible sale that we still haven't figured out what to call it. Maybe the Bart sale. What do you think, Bart? That'd be good. That'll be good. And all this inventory I have left over from the big job in Auburn. So I've got good prices all the way around. If it's a flip you're looking to do, rental, something you're trying to sell, or if it's a house that you're going to be in for the next 10 years and you really want to go high end all the way through, I've got it for you. And it's just call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measure.
You give folks that number is 285-8117. And be sure to tell them when you call 285-8117, you heard Ray Bowles here on the radio with Joey and Eddie.
Guys, have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, brother.
Oh, did we learn anything today?
I learned a lot, man. I learned that Alabama fans are still delusional.
Oh, you're gonna continue to just poke them, right? That's what you got to do.
Do you think we're going to win a national championship?
No.
All right.
But that's our problem. You got to believe in your team.
I will.
And that's how they end up being successful. If you don't believe, then you're going to get that mediocrity.
I believe in our team. We're rebuilding. I believe we are rebuilding.
Yeah.
And I believe we're going to win about 4 games this year.
So you're going to watch Slick Willie tonight?
I don't think so, man. I might watch him for a couple minutes, but he just don't do it for me. And the thing was, I was when Clinton was a president, and I was young. I was a Clinton fan.
Yeah,
I was living through that economy. Life was well, but that's before I was introduced to the Clinton killing machine. So, you get older, you learn things.
Yeah, that reminds me of Norm Macdonald on The View.
Oh,
he's like, I think we should get the murder out of the White House, and they just could not.
Norm,
get out of here. Yeah, what's the Norm joke about The View? Is like Barbara Walters retired, announced her retirement from The View. She actually announced it 5 years ago, but nobody could hear it over those yammering bitches.
Oh.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Woody.
Hey, Woody.
Hey, you bitches, y'all been rebuilding for 15 years. What you talking about?
Right. I'm not denying that. Not denying that. Looks like we got another year ahead of us.
We can admit the truth.
All right, love y'all.
Thank you, Woody. See you, man. It's the truth. And you know what? Next year, probably going to be rebuilding again.
Be rebuilding for 15 years. Yeah, Auburn's had a rough go of it. They really have. It's frustrating. But, my senior year there at Auburn.
It was a good one, right?
I was at Camden National Championship year.
That's what I've learned, though. And
So I'm
just
kind of spoiled.
You probably learned this with Tampa Bay. You've got to be a fan long enough for them to hit a championship, because that dry spell is going to be a long one. So you got to hang in there long enough to hit one, because there's not a second one coming for quite some time.
And we have time. Guess what I found?
What'd you find?
Norm on The View.
Did you?
Let's listen in.
Presidential mess.
Well, I hope that the Democrats don't steal the election from the winner, but who knows?
This is the year 2000, he said.
You like George Bush, don't you?
I love George Bush, man. He's a good man, decent, none of this. Yeah, he's not a liar, a crook, murderer, or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who are the murderers?
Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you're not allowed to put out accusations without.
That's a little too
That's
far.
the way it doesn't work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice.
He doesn't give up, by the way.
Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen, we don't need
I
to
don't want
talk
to get
about
into this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question. Get with it.
There you go.
Hysterical. You're
This is a live show.
Not for nothing, Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm not going to ask the next
I
question.
thought it was a matter of record.
Okay, let me do this, okay? I'll tell you what's a matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right, let's talk football.
All right, man.
Oh, my God.
And he was invited back one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one more time.
No, and where he made that.
Yep.
Norm will forever live in my heart. That guy,
100%.
man. Especially looking back, you're like, man, he did that in 2000.
Yeah.
He was trolling the press all the way back then.
Dude,
Because I think he lived through it working for NBC.
OJC with NBC. They told him, you keep it up, they're going to fire you. All right, let me double down on this.
So good. Oh,
Love
man.
that. Absolutely loved it.
And now even Fox News is playing Theo Vaughn talking to Trump.
You know as well as I do, there are some amazing clips to be dropped in there.
No, there's poignant stuff in there?
Yes, there really is.
Yeah, and they're playing the cocaine part, though.
That one just...
because it's hard to beat.
Donald. I'm sorry, Donald.
I love how interested Trump is, too. So is it too much?
But I really wonder what's going on through Trump's mind when he's talking to
It's like,
Theo.
who is this guy?
Right.
But he looked like he was having a good time. And Theo got him to kind of be more relaxed than I've seen him in many of these interviews. So I love Theo's podcast because it's funny, but it's very honest and very kind of open.
Yeah.
How about this? Let's get out of here.
All right, man.
Happy Hour with Greg Vidal. Him and Rosie Brock are next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. Donald Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, speaking today at a huge rally in North Carolina. For Mr. Trump, today marked his first outdoor appearance since the assassination attempt last month in Pennsylvania. Mr. Trump said he will build up